Hello, everyone. Welcome to the MCU crew. It's your favorite 1-hour podcast. At least that's what we say around these parts.
You said that with zero enthusiasm. Like a man who was being held at gunpoint to welcome everyone to the show.
That's why. There's no... we beat that horse. It's gone. It's dead.
Hello, everyone.
It can't be regenerated, Jesse.
No. JP, no. I will continue to tell that dumb 30 FPS joke with the same gusto I did the first time.
Well, that's still funny. That's because it's still funny.
It was never funny.
It's been funny every time. It's always good. It's always good.
I don't know about that, but thank you.
It's always good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, JP.
Bronze, we're not thankful. I like the glasses look, Bronze. Am I just dumb and I've never known that you wear contacts? Or do you just not wear glasses all the time?
I'm supposed to wear glasses. I don't. And some of it is, like I said, I never found like a comfortable frame. And so I've been test driving these for a while before I invest in getting the lenses swapped out. But I've supposed to have been wearing glasses since like high school.
I just fucking realized me and Jesse have the same goddamn glasses.
So did I.
You do.
So did I. Absolutely.
Damn it, Jesse. We look
white
like
bearded guy starter pack
one
is right here. Just the glasses.
Wait, but Jesse, didn't you have different glasses like a couple of weeks ago?
No.
Yes, he copied me,
every few years I change my glasses, but I've had the same like style for I don't know. Since 2015,
I remember you
maybe?
flexing on stream that like yours were like some brand.
They're definitely some brand. My glasses are the most expensive thing I own. That's true. I spent a lot of money on glasses.
What are those, like,
they got like mega tints and super things and
okay. The lenses are expensive.
The lens, but also the frames. I like go all out.
Oh.
It's the most expensive thing I own.
Oh. These are just
if you're gonna wear them every day.
Yeah, I might as well like have some style on my body. I consider it like my face purse. It's stylish, but like it's one of those small ones that like what are you putting in there really?
Don't
Nothing.
say
it's just
the word
accessory.
I don't like face purse. I'm
face
not
purse is what it is. It's a face purse.
No,
JP?
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not.
It's you're right. It's not a face purse. It's a pock. What is that called?
A hot pocket?
Clutch. It's a face clutch.
Okay.
It's accurate. It's accurate.
It's better than face purse.
Face purse does sound a little dirty.
It just sounds gross.
You know, I don't hate face purse because sometimes I wear glasses that are dummies and just as an accessory. So
it's a look. It's a fun accessory. Clearly, some people need a purse. They have stuff they got to put in there. I need this accessory. But like, I could also just get surgery, but I don't want to.
It's true.
So here we are.
You could get surgery. You could get some
surgery people.
Put some lasers in your
I
eyeballs.
don't know. I'm looking up like how they do it. I was like, nah.
Oh no, you're not. Don't watch the videos. That's a bad time.
Yeah. No, I looked it up. I was like, no, that would never happen.
Here's the problem. I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat, but that means that then the world would have to like. This is an acceptable face.
You'd have to Drew Carey.
This is a face. This is not a face. This whatever this is. I don't want the world to see that.
It's because you're making.
This is my normal JP. This is how I normally look without glasses.
Oh.
Put these on. I'm like, I'm kind of presentable.
My chat has an ongoing.
Like, greetings, everyone, from the Mole Kingdom. No, I'm all right.
My chat has an ongoing joke because someone randomly came by the stream and said, "I look." What was it? Chat. Oh God, not nicer. There's a positive benefit to me removing kinder. I look kinder without my glasses on.
You do look kinder. You do look like can I tell you look like my cousin Jake. Shout out to Jake wherever he's at. You look kinder, like a sweetheart, like a guy who works in IT and is just trying to help.
But why do the glasses make me look not
now
kind?
you look a little dangerous, and I might be biased. Okay. I may be biased, but you look a little dangerous and sexy now.
Okay.
Like, ooh, what's he hiding behind?
Oh,
those
so
spectacles?
that's okay. I like the positive spin on that. As long as I don't look meaner with glasses on.
Oh, yeah, a little dangerous, a little like.
I like this. I like. Let's bump the ego up.
Now maybe projecting. I don't know.
That's why we do the show so Jesse can boost the ego. That's why we keep him around.
Thanks, pal.
Yeah, the ego bump. The ego bump. Anyways, Bronze, happy belated birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
21 years old. Had a great birthday party out there. Took the town by storm, I heard. Oh, she muted herself. She can't even talk about it. It's so X-rated.
It was that crazy. It was that crazy of a party.
Yeah. She's got to investigate. I don't think she's figured it out.
Can you talk? Can we hear you? What happened?
Oh, she rejoined.
Wait, is it good now?
Yeah, you're good now.
Hello.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either.
I don't either.
I just say thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Did you do anything? Do you go all out on your birthday, or is it low key? Or do you just try to act like it doesn't exist like I do?
It's weird. It's a bit of a mix because I get crazy depressed around my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of it is my birthday. Some of it is I had a traumatizing life event like 5 days before my birthday.
Sure.
Like 8 years ago. And so like, even though sometimes your brain forgets trauma, or your body forgets trauma, I should say, like your brain remembers. So because it was such a crazy time for me, I feel like around this time every year, like I naturally like remember it and I get like super depressed. So I usually try to like go on like a trip or get out of town, but I don't have that planned until like August because June was just so crazy for me. So I had a really low key event with friends and like played board games because
nice.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah, that sounds like a great birthday. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good time.
Corona and lime and board games.
All right, I'm fuck Corona. I'm out.
You don't like Corona?
No.
That's fair.
Time out. What is the replacement then, JP?
Whiskey.
What are you drinking?
Just straight whiskey.
All right, it has to stay in the beer category. What are you drinking?
Nothing.
A lager, if you will.
Nothing. No, if I'm
you
at
gunpoint, you have to stay.
If I'm at gunpoint and I'm forced to drink a beer, it's a Blue Moon.
That has to be in the light summer fare lager variety.
Blue Moon's in that. I don't like IPA, double stouts, anything like that. Blue Moon's
telling me that if you are like, all right, let's change this. You are in Mexico right now.
Blue Moon.
I hope they deport you back to America. I hope they ship you back. Like, get out. Blue Moon, get out of here.
Yeah,
not even like a Modelo or Dos Equis. No. Not even do anything. You're just like,
no,
Blue Moon.
I don't like.
All right,
I'm
my
not
dude.
a fan of
all right,
it's too light for me. It's too.
That was the point. It was a light drink. It's
like
it's hot. No. You're outside. Some dude's grilling lobster for some reason.
No.
And you're like, and I want Blue Moon. They'd be like,
Blue Moon.
Get off the beach.
I would say I want whiskey, and they say, sir, we don't serve hard alcohol. And I said, okay, I'll take a Blue Moon. That's how the conversation would go.
You're like too much of a classy drunk for me. I'm like, have you ever just wanted to put rum in everything? Sign me up.
It's bad time. Bad time. Yeah, I've embraced my old age alcoholism. That's a weird thing.
I can tell. That's very nice.
Whiskey.
That's sweet of you.
Yeah. You get you order a whiskey with 1 king cube. That's the order.
So you get a whiskey drink?
I get a whiskey drink. Yeah. No vodka drink though. No.
Of course not.
Yeah. No vodka drinks. Only whiskey. Anyways, hey, we sometimes talk about the MCU. We got 2 episodes of Miss Marvel to discuss. Before we do that, you guys missed the co-stream of the greatest red carpet to ever be allowed to be co-streamed.
Oh my God, I forgot you watched the red carpet.
I watched it live on air with the Twitch audience. And let me tell you, it was all right. It was.
You've never said it's amazing. There has not been one time you were like, that was the greatest red carpet I've ever seen.
It's I don't want to. Erica Ishii was one of the.
No, I got you, JP.
Well, no, Erica Ishii was one of the interviewees or one of the hosts of it, and so I don't want to discuss like. There are moments of cringe that occur, but they're moments because Erica Ishii is, one, a huge nerd like myself, and two, a massive Marvel fan like myself. And so if you're standing one person away from like Chris Hemsworth or Natalie Portman or like giant stars, you're going to kind of freak the fuck out like she does.
I just thought we were going to talk about how, in general, red carpet shows are stupid. And
they're kind of silly.
Waste of everybody's time, and are literally there to like.
They're kind of silly.
Hype up the ego of everyone involved, but like not
true.
It doesn't. I don't know anyone who's like, I really, really, really care about like. There's the same 3 teases we see every time.
There's a lot of cosplayers
like,
these
what do
days.
You think?
Well, maybe that's Marvel specific, but yeah, they focus on the cosplayers, and I think honestly invite them out because there's like 100 or so that they keep
I mean,
like right in the little
very
roped area.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very sweet to have that interaction. Like, that's fine. I have no problem with that. I just think like the idea of red carpets in general, just like kind of the idea of award shows, unless you're getting one or you're involved, I don't know why I would care. I'm like, unless I'm at the red carpet, why the hell would I ever care about what happens at a red carpet?
They're a little silly.
I don't know. It's a weird thing.
I think everyone would, even the people that plan them would say they're silly. They're left over from the old Hollywood, as it were.
Yeah.
And then, a lot of the purpose of red carpets these days is for a celebration for like the cast and crew to come out, blah, blah, blah. But it's also for the Hollywood press to come out and like ask the stars questions about what they're doing next. Because it's all just like one cycle, right? And so they're there to like talk to Kevin Feige and see if he drops any spoilers, see if anyone else drops any like massive spoilers about the film, which they always try to like get the guests to do. And then they sell something. I'm trying to think what the big sponsor. I don't think there was a
Thor.
car at Thor.
Brought to you by the Nissan Quest. Go on your quest with Thor this fall.
There was an almond commercial.
Almonds?
Yeah, they did an almond goof.
Mjolnir will crack that nut.
That's literally what it was around. It was about that.
Well, of course it was.
Yeah.
Of course it was.
There's a
Ford.
Ford.
They put as much thought and creativity into those things as I did just now.
Yeah. I guess there was a Ford EV there, which I don't think they did like a sponsor.
There's always a car. It's always sponsored by a car.
Have you seen that
Yeah.
freaking Uber Eats commercial with Gwyneth Paltrow talking about eating toilet paper?
No.
I have not. No. What?
Oh my God.
Exciting.
That just reminds me of what you're saying.
How you doing over there? You all right?
Yeah, this is
you okay?
really...
Okay.
You
My
fun?
cat he's been such a troublemaker today. I just can't. I don't know what he's doing.
I've not seen that commercial, but I have seen that cat.
It drives me crazy. It literally drives me insane because I guess like the whole marketing pitch is like, we want people to know you can order things other than just food on Uber Eats.
Oh, okay.
And
like an Uber Eats
says
thing.
Gwyneth Paltrow sitting there on the floor, like cross-legged, being like, things can be really confusing. Like, what are the eats and the things you can't eat or the not eats? And she's like, and then it literally shows her like eating paper towels and toilet paper and stuff and being like, I think that's a not eat. And I'm just like, did you guys think this commercial through at all?
I mean, it worked because you're talking about it on a show, but I have not seen
I guess in that when I watch RuPaul's Drag Race, I'm just like, get this bitch off my TV.
Yeah, I've never seen that. The best.
You haven't truly embraced the goop lifestyle, so
true.
That's your problem.
Yeah, the best part of the one of my favorite parts, I should say, of the red carpet is when they had Chris Pratt. He was the last person to show up. He's not even like really. I mean, he's in the film, but he's not the star of the film or anything. And I'm fairly certain that Chris Pratt was fucking drunk. Because his interview
drunk with the love of Jesus.
He was a little wild. He's the only person I saw cuss in the entire thing. but he also brought the like star energy, so it worked. He just seemed like a crazy, Hollywood star type deal, and the crowd went fucking wild. And Erica and Anthony, Anthony Carboni was the other.
Anthony,
always
Anthony.
Anthony.
Dear Anthony.
He's deep with Disney in the interview game. I think he did the Star Wars Celebration as well. But yeah, that was a fun interview. He also so have you guys seen the latest trailer or the last trailer for the new Thor with the goats?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Chris Pratt said the entire reason that the goats existed is so that James Gunn would have to deal with goats in Guardians 3. That's the only reason Taika put him in the movie, is so that James would have to somehow incorporate them into Guardians 3.
That sounds like the most Taika shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's really good. It's really good. I thought that was kind of like that.
If you want to get like just way off topic, but a Marvel adjacent.
Okay.
If you want to get prime Taika material, there is a video. I think it might be, I don't know what company it is. Lad Bible, some sort of nonsense, where it's Taika Waititi and my brain just died. Chris Captain America, that one.
Okay. Sure.
What is his last name? How can I remember that?
It's Chris something or other. Not
Hemsworth.
Not
Pratt
Hemsworth.
And
Pratt. And Evans. It's always Evans.
God damn. It's Taika Waititi and Chris Evans literally just playing a game together, and the two of them are like the most charming, fun dudes I've ever seen in my entire life. And Taika, they asked like Taika like what he looks for most in working on set, and he's like, just like people who aren't pieces of shit. And I was like, wow, that sounds like an actual heavy lift in Hollywood. So
yeah,
I'm glad he found that.
Yeah,
it's very fun. It's very fun to watch them.
They talked about the set a lot, and like how Taika's set is unlike any other. Every director's set is different, is ultimately what they were saying. But they said Taika is like unbelievably chill and kind of anything goes for the most part, as long as you kind of stick like around the script. And if you float an idea to him, chances are he's gonna be like, yeah, let's try that. And then if it doesn't work out, he's gonna make a joke and laugh at you when it doesn't work out, but he's still gonna let you try it. So I think that's kind of it's got to be a fun set to work on. For sure. So yeah, there's not much else out there at the red carpet. No one really leaked anything, at least from the actors side of things. The premiere right after that, I think a lot of stuff has leaked. I've not seen any of it myself. They do have a lot of reactions, as they do. And let me tell you, they're just like they always are. So there's not too much to cover there. You got a lot of phrases like the best entry in phase 4 behind Shang-Chi and No Way Home. Apparently it's a really emotional movie. A lot of I cried in all of these reactions, which maybe leads some, maybe that's because of the Mighty Thor storyline, if they're going that route. I don't know what else it could be. A lot of people also described it as like a romantic comedy between Thor and Jane. That was a big takeaway. But in general, everyone said it was good. That Christian Bale is fantastic. He's actually like a real evil, fucked up villain. But the comedy was on point. Russell Crowe was apparently good. They said it's kind of like a love letter to the 80s. So nothing, no one really, as usual, no one really had anything super negative to say about it. They said it was a great follow-up to Ragnarok. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm glad people are saying good things rather than, we all know what like a bad movie premiere is. People are like, it's divisive. Some people, I liked it, but some people may not. I'm glad there's none of that, which is a good sign.
Yeah. There was, as I was saying, there was nothing negative. Eric Italiano. I don't know who he writes for. Let's see if we can find out what publication. He's a senior writer for the Bro Bible. Said that the plot felt flat and stakeless. Not sure if that's a Thor problem or an MCU without a big bad problem. I don't know. A little bit of both.
I don't know.
And they also said Tessa Thompson and Natalie Portman were the standouts. That was another huge takeaway, that Natalie had like a fantastic role in the film in general. And they get to kind of like bro out the entire film around with Thor. So those were all the different reactions from that. There's a bunch of them if you want to go read them all. I'm reading some from just comicbook.com, but you can find collections of them out there if that's something that you're interested in. So you guys get your tickets already for Thor? Are you good to go?
No, you always ask this, and we always say we'll get it later.
I don't understand.
And you're always like, I can't believe you guys aren't going to get tickets right away. And we're like, why?
I can't believe it.
Why are we?
I can't believe it.
Every time.
I can't believe it. We've got 2 casting news updates here. You guys have both seen Ted Lasso, right?
Yeah.
You haven't? Oh my God, Bronze. You got one. You have to watch Ted Lasso. This is only going to make sense for, you have to. It's like you actually have to. But Roy Kent, Jesse Cox, is going to be in the MCU. As Hercules.
In what film?
They haven't said yet. Which makes me think that he might be in the new Thor.
I was about to say, it seems like that might be like a Thor thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Brett Goldstein is the actor's name. And he's apparently been cast as Hercules, the son of Zeus, in the MCU. According to a handful of different sites out there that have a pretty credible source on it, they say. So we shall see if he pops up in the new Thor, if he's in a post-credit scene or what. But
it might be like if Zeus dies, it might be interesting to have Hercules show up in a post-credit scene and be like, well, where the hell is
Dad.
Thor?
Oh, yeah.
It's like son versus son, you know what I mean? Like Hercules versus Thor is always a fun goof.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. Like, what the hell? Where's that guy at?
Yeah.
It's a terrible line read, but you know what I mean?
Sure.
What the hell?
Sure.
Where's that Thor?
It'll be, I kind of feel like he's just going to play Roy Kent, and that's going to be, like he's going to be Roy Kent in the MCU as Hercules. And maybe that's all he needs. He's probably going to have to buff up a little bit too. He's definitely not out of shape, but he's not fucking Hercules ripped. But the MCU doesn't have a problem getting people ripped like that. So we'll see if that actually comes true. The other big actor announcement comes from the Spider-Man spinoff show of Madame Webb. And they have added Emma Roberts from American Horror Story in an unconfirmed role. So that movie,
I don't want it.
That movie's still not canceled yet. I guess they're
I
still
don't
trucking
want
along.
it. Who ordered that? It's like someone came and put this hors d'oeuvre on our table, and all of us are sitting around like, who the fuck ordered that?
No one wants to own up
It's
to
like
it.
some durian or some shit that's sitting on the table.
I don't even
like,
know. We're just all sitting here like, who the fuck ordered that? I'm not paying for it. Who ordered this?
Yeah.
And no one's owning up to it.
Sony ordered it.
I'm not I can't figure out why we're getting it, especially after Sony flopped with Morbius and then double flopped with Morbius, which is insane to me. They were like, re-release it so we can get shamed even more.
Yeah.
And then
we're literally like, people are memeing it, guys. This means they're going to go watch the movie.
Yeah. Well, there's that. And there's also the other upcoming spinoff, Kraven. Kraven the Hunter. He's getting his own film.
Kraven's cool. I do not trust Sony to make anything good with it.
No. You have to have Spider-Man for a Kraven film. Otherwise, it's not good.
No, don't you get it? It's just like Venom. We're going to get the back. Like, you want to see the anti-hero.
I mean, they're making a Venom
Kraven.
3 as well. That's a film that's being made.
Uh-oh, Eddie. A Venom 3?
And you got to remember, Venom also traveled through the multiverse into 616.
Oh, I know. And left a part of it behind. So that's,
So that's the thing. So, yeah. Do they... Oh, yeah, they do have a release date. It's currently a July 7th, 2023 release date. So this time next year, we're going to be getting hype for a Madame Webb film. Or someone will.
I couldn't even, it is, it makes no sense. No matter what the plot is, I can tell you right now, it's not going to be good. There's no Madame Webb plot that I'm like, that's it. That is it. That's what I want to see out of my Madame Webb story. No, there's none of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad, man.
Yeah. The Sony executive Sanford Panitch, I guess, is who's kind of behind all this. Apparently previously hinted that there are plans to feature Holland in the upcoming adventures. So is that enough to get you in the theater if Holland is confirmed to show up in that stuff? Jesse or Bronze? Are you guys going to go check it out?
I will go see any movie if it's good.
Okay.
But I don't see how at the moment
those are good.
Just name dropping Tom Holland means it's a good movie. Like Madame Webb as a concept, it's like a trudge uphill. So now you have to sell me on that, plus the idea of like it being good and that you're not going to immediately like destroy the Spider-Man we know. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Poor Tom Holland is now wrapped up in a thing that like may be bad. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. What else do we got? The Deadpool 3 writer. Where did he reveal this? His name is Rhett Rees. He did an interview. Man, Bro Bible's everywhere. He did an interview with the Bro Bible's post-credit podcast. And said Deadpool 3 is a wonderful opportunity for a fish out of water. Deadpool is a lunatic at the center of a movie. To drop a lunatic into a very sane world, it's straight butter. It's going to be really fun. So I guess they're just going to have him like multiverse hop over to the MCU. And that's going to be that film. I don't really know what the other plots of that are, but
I do know that I guess on the BBC somewhere, I'm trying to find the article right now, but I guess on the BBC or something, Chris Hemsworth was like, I would love to be in Deadpool 3.
Yeah, but he was doing it to like get it Hugh Jackman though. And I don't understand.
Yeah. I think he was just trying to mess with Hugh Jackman, but like I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I would love to see as many surprise cameos as possible and just no Hugh Jackman. I think that'd be fucking hilarious.
That'd be hilarious.
If like everyone's like, if Wolverine were here right now, that's gonna be very funny.
Yeah. It'll also be rated R. So it'll be the first MCU film that's rated R. So they're not taking that away from it.
Blade.
I think Blade's PG. I think they've already confirmed that.
No. Blade is rated R in our hearts.
Oh, all right. Maybe so. We also got.
They include like cool techno beats.
Oh, and Blade.
Wait, that's the Matrix. Never mind.
That was the Matrix theme.
Never mind.
That was the Matrix theme. Yeah, when they're
I'm aware. I know.
That's when they go to they walk into at the end of that is when they walk into the armory.
Yeah. I remember now.
Yep. I'm trying to see why this happened, but Marvel released an official update to the Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline.
Pardon?
This website, comicbook.com, has it linked, but it's in like just text listing. I don't know if they have a proper website for this. But I'll just read you the last 7 or 8. So it goes, I'll read you everything post Endgame. So it's Avengers Endgame, followed by Loki, followed by What If, followed by WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, and these are the 4 films that are the 4 things after Eternals: Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and Miss Marvel.
Yeah, I mean that checks kind of out of but again, you know what? No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not playing these games. I'm playing these games, Marvel.
Okay.
I'm playing these games. If I was on that red carpet, I would have asked every single celebrity coming down that carpet. I've been like, so in the Marvel universe, there's a giant man standing out, like hanging out of the ocean. Do you think your character would be upset about that and how no one has talked about it? and just wait till they respond. You're like, Chris Hemsworth, so is Thor aware that a giant man is in the middle of the ocean? And how is that affecting his duties as Thor?
I think it was on Jimmy Kimmel. I forget what talk show it was. And they had Natalie Portman there, and they took questions from the audience to ask Natalie Portman. And this man stood up. He was cosplayed as someone. I forget who it was. It was it's what you're picturing in your brain in terms of the cosplay. And he asked Natalie Portman if her Mighty Thor, he said something along the lines of like, is your Mighty Thor from a different universe, or is she from the MCU or 616 universe? Do you have a comment on that? And she just goes, I'm not smart enough to know what that is. That was her answer. Which is kind of bullshit because she's definitely smart enough. She's actually incredibly smart. Like she has like a fucking degree from MIT or some shit.
It's a very polite way of saying I'm not invested in it the way you are.
100%.
So
100%.
I'm not going to say that though.
Yeah. So with that in mind, Jesse, we have to blow up these red carpet streams in terms of viewers so that I can get Twitch to send you out there with a Twitch camera crew and ask these stars about the man in the ocean.
I think they would be fools not to send the three of us out there at one of those round table discussion things where we sit there and like the celebrities come to us.
They just show up.
They want to be on the MCU crew and they want to sit down and have a short conversation with Bronze. And Bronze will be like, so what do you think about this bullshit? Right? And they'll have a conversation and they come over to me and I give them like a bottle of water. I really am not involved. I'm like, thanks for coming by.
Wait, why are you not involved? You have to ask them about the man.
You don't want me on camera. I will literally be like, why is there a fucking man in the ocean and no one's talking? Feige, what is your problem?
So we just need to talk to Feige is what you're saying.
Feige would be like Gwyneth Paltrow, like, I wasn't even aware there was a guy in the ocean. I didn't film that. I wasn't a part of that. I'd be like, yeah!
Gwyneth Paltrow would be like, that's Aquaman, that's DC.
I'll be like, Feige, what do you think about Ezra Miller and the fact that they're still releasing that movie?
Yeah, that's one of the funniest.
You think it's weird they're still releasing that movie?
Dude.
Are they too far gone? Do they have to release it now? What's your thoughts on that?
I've never seen a contract, so this is purely me talking through speculation. But if you're a host on those things, there is a fucking massive list of do and don'ts in terms of.
Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah, of terms of like, don't mention this, don't mention this property, don't say anything about like. I think because there was 2 or 3 times where the other host corrected them. I don't think the host could talk about how hot it was at the red carpet premiere.
I'm just letting you know you can't talk about much.
Yeah.
But also, every time I've ever hosted a big event, they're always like, "Thank you, we're definitely not inviting you back."
It's because you're too much.
Yeah. A masturbation joke here, a swear there. It's like people don't want you around anymore. It's weird.
I was like
surprised. You're not professional.
I was surprised because one of the, I forget her name, one of the interviewees or one of the hosts was like filling while they were waiting for, I think it was Kevin Feige to show up at the like little interview podium thing. And she was on like the proper red carpet where all the other interviews are occurring. And the God Butcher Gore, who's, I want to say Kevin Bacon, but that's not Kevin Bacon, whatever the actor's name is, accidentally stumbled and Christian Bale, thank you. Accidentally stumbled and like walked into her and like bumped her. And then she said, "Oh, don't worry about it. You can bump into me anytime." And then like smiled at the camera. And so then it cut back to Anthony Carboni. And Kevin Feige was there. And it said, "Hey, so-and-so just tried to steal Christian Bale's wallet down on the red carpet. You need to go like take this out." And Feige was like, "What the fuck? Like, why would you fucking say that?" He didn't know how to deal with it. Then they come back to her and she's like, he is like, "Hey, I heard you stole someone's wallet." And they just both deadpanned the camera and cut back. So I think that's about as loose as you can get, Jesse. You can't go much further than that.
There's definitely a line. I'm aware. I've had a few good talks with executives afterwards. Like, you can't do any of that. We are not asking you back. I'm like, all right, you don't pay well anyway.
Yeah.
Shit. Like, all right, bye.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely not that guy. So I will gladly sit off camera and be like, let the professionals handle it. I'll say some weird shit.
Yeah.
Here's a water. Enjoy.
Okay. Well, if Twitch ever comes a call on, then they let us do a red carpet thing. We'll just let Bronze be the person to interview everyone. Can we
do a separate red carpet outside for the cosplayers? Like, and who are you dressed as?
Maybe.
I think it'd be better. We block off another part of of the street, and we have people the cosplayers come to us first before they go in, and we're like, and who are you supposed to be? Is this a Gucci? It could be great.
I think that'd be great. I think we'd have to get you a full on. You have to go in the dead of summer, so it has to be a summer blockbuster release.
Well, yeah,
and you have to wear a full suit, Jesse, with vest and like a hat, like maybe even a fedora. It has to be really colorful.
I'll wear that Hulk
and you have
suit
to do
they
that
made
voice.
That little boy wearing the dance number of Miss Marvel.
Yes.
I'll wear that Hulk suit and just be like, is that Prada? Who are you? What is that?
Be great.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Be 10 out of 10. I'm about it.
Yeah.
You want to talk Miss Marvel? Is it time?
Hell yes.
Sure. Miss Marvel episode 2 and 3. We didn't do an episode last week. Jesse, let's get me and you, because I think I'm hoping Bronze has a conflicting opinion here, because that makes for the best content.
I hate talking about this show.
Why is that? Because everyone's like, what is your take on this, Bronze? You have a unique perspective.
Like, I'm the fucking ambassador of India. I hate it. I hate talking about. I've dreaded
as the representative,
Bronze,
as the representative
of all of India and women.
Like, oh my God, people won't fucking let me live, and then I can't have any less than like, this show is so important, and I feel so
dude. Otherwise, I have a handful of friends that will not watch this show because of comments made from the characters in episode 2 and 3. So I don't think you have to be like.
So I'm not the. I've been saying that forever, JP. People don't believe me, or I'm like, there are a lot of Dissy people who don't like this show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are people that are like, what? No, it's good. And I was like,
I think
you got it.
Look, here's the deal. And Jesse, you tell me if I'm wrong about your take on it. I'm absolutely enjoying the show. I think this show is fantastic. But it's because I'm an ignorant fucking white guy who has no idea of any of the significance of what is actually being displayed.
Do you really? Okay, I have to ask this.
Uh-huh.
Given the writing and pacing in episode 3, you still really like it?
Yeah.
Because I've just put all the Indian stuff aside. I've decided this is not representation. So I just watch it like any other Marvel show. And I still, I have thoughts. I still can't get into it.
Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe that's me.
Yeah.
I will immediately say that I think I'm with JP in that I enjoy it, but I definitely got the vibe in episode 3. Like, I think with all the Marvel shows we've talked about lately, it moves at a pace that is like, okay, I guess we're doing this now. And it definitely has pacing issues. But that's, I think, all the Marvel TV shows, which is like, and you know what? Frankly, the Star Wars ones too. But anyway, speaking of Star Wars, I had an epiphany while watching this show because I saw your tweet last night, Bronze, about the dance number, and I had an epiphany. And I don't know if this is 1-to-1. I don't think it's 1-to-1 accurate, but I believe the reason JP and I enjoy it is because we have little to no experience with this worldview and the culture these people are coming from, and I feel like, just me personally, that it is kind of how I am with Star Wars. When I'll see people talk about how much they love Obi-Wan and how they love all the stuff in it, and I'm like, what? No. And I think it might be because I have 25 years, almost a lifetime of experience with Star Wars, and I know every little fucking detail of it, that when I see something, I'm like, that's inaccurate. That's not correct.
Sure.
That is wrong. Why are they doing this? That's not. And so it like the things that I'm seeing, I'm like, I can't ignore that. I can't ignore what I'm looking at. And I sometimes wonder if, like, because you exist in a real world where things, like, you have real life experience with these things, that things that are dumbed down or made different for a wider audience, you're like, well, I can't accept that as being okay. And I'm very curious if that's where you're coming from, because that's like how I feel. And obviously, again, not one-to-one, but it's like, I had that epiphany last night. Well, when I saw your tweet, I was like, the dance number never even like occurred to me as being a thing I would be concerned about or thinking about. And you were like, that was trash. And so I'm like, okay, I think I kind of understand where you're coming from a little bit.
Why was the dance number? Was it just a bad dance number? Was that the reason why, or was there other reasons to speak to that?
It's just
specifically,
it was such a poorly choreographed dance number.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And it was like, yeah, which, like, if you see, I mean, JP, the one you linked is better than that. Like, we're weird. Disney people do performances at like every wedding.
Yeah.
This is like a thing, especially like Western Indians in America, Canada, UK will do choreographed numbers at weddings. And I got this like comment from some white dude that was like, well, it was supposed to be a casual number. And I was like, okay, well, you've never been to one of these weddings probably. And I've been to like 30.
Sure.
And the awkward thing about Disney people is we have a lot of good dancers. If you're a POC, you know, we have like shit tons of good dancers. So for us, it's like when you do the choreographed number at the beginning of a wedding to like kick off the dance floor thing, especially Bhangra, because they were like, they had Punjabi music as Bhangra music.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this isn't like representative of like, and even if they were trying to do a cute casual, like, oh, look at these really bad dancers thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you're the first people to do something, you have a responsibility to do it well. Like, you're showing off the first vestiges of like this. I think this has been my sort of defensive perspective about it, knowing like as a Punjabi woman that like this is going to be some people's first experience with Punjabi culture. And so therefore you have a responsibility to like do everything.
You want them to like,
you know, do it that.
Yeah.
Yeah. To do it justice. So I think like when a lot of us see like how things have been played for a joke or kind of cringe, it's like, well, people already don't respect Indian dance. I've grown up with tons of stand-up comedians and tons of videos about how Indians are like dirk 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 dirk, which is annoying when I'm like, yo, no, we have like banger dance numbers. Like, you know, like whether or not a movie does well in India is predicated on how well the music videos and soundtracks do. So I let it go in the first episode when she daydreams about her parents. And this is through Kamala's perspective. She's daydreaming about how she's going to go to AvengerCon. And that through her perspective, she's seeing her parents and they're both wearing like I Love Kamala shirts. But they're doing it in her daydream where they're like, Dirka, 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 like that whole thing where they're like, oh, yes, Kamala. And I was like, this is from Kamala's perspective, though. I would see that maybe this is how outsiders see her parents. But like, I let it go. I was like, you know what? Don't be a bitter Punjabi bitch. Just let it go. But then when I saw the dance number, this one, I was like, oh, you hoes don't, you don't know how to dance. Like, that's what...
Sure.
You don't know how to dance. You didn't hire a choreographer because it did not read as cute to me. I just was like, Kamala, 40, come on. It's your brother's wedding. You don't know how to do this thing. And like little things like that, you can't let go. Like, okay, this is a big one. It's the bride's Mendi ceremony. And her family's not there.
Right. Well,
and instead she's looking around and she's like, wow, your family is big. And I'm like, or they make that joke like, this is all your family?
Were her parents not there? Because they were definitely in the wedding. Did they just not have them?
Yeah, they showed up in the
wedding.
They were
in the wedding,
they were not at that
but they didn't have them in the Mendi. And the Mendi is like a super fun event where like the girl side of the family gets together and you all get your henna done. It's like this like super fun thing. And you have a lady Sangeet a lot of the time. and I've been to a couple of like Pakistani Muslim weddings, but I've been to a lot more Indian ones. But like, yeah, the mehndi is like a fun thing at Punjabi weddings, but it definitely involved. I thought I was like, we're finally gonna see her side of the family.
Yeah, and I think
Because like in India
all
and
we ever saw
Pakistan,
was
like in
just
our
her dad and
culture,
her mom. That was it.
yeah, for like a split second, which annoys me because it's like in our culture, it's not two people getting married, it's two families getting married. You get married for your family. Like it's like family is like such a big part of it. So like it's weird to see a mehndi ceremony and like her mom and dad aren't there. I'm just like, no, your mom and dad would be at your fucking mehndi. You're getting your bridal henna done. Like your parents would fucking be there. And I think they even show a hand like feeding her, which to me, this is like one of the cutest bonding things ever is like when my cousins and brother got wedding and or got married and stuff, you get your henna done even if you're part of like the groom's side of the family. Um and you can't touch anything while it's drying.
Sure.
And so other people have to feed you. I think it's the cutest, most bonding experience ever. I remember my dad feeding me John samosas, like when my henna was drying and when my sister got married, like I fed her food while her henna was drying. And they even show that cute scene, but they just show like a black hand. Like they don't actually show the family member that's like feeding her or anything. And to me, that's just for me, it's discordant, if that makes sense. Where I'm just like, well, why'd you cut them out of the frame?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't there be a quick scene with her parents? If you're gonna include them in the dance number later, they even show her little brother in the Hulk costume. I thought that was cute. Like, I was like, why were they not included at any other place in the like, because for once again, if you're gonna do Desi culture, I'm like, that's so fucking weird that your parents wouldn't. But then they were there because you see a hand that's clearly like African
They're part of
American
the dance
feed
number.
her.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they're part of the dance number, but it's like they just shoehorned or jammed them in at the end, and I'm like, but this is a beautiful biracial wedding showcasing different kinds of different ethnicities of Muslims in America. Why are they like a diversity footnote in a dance number? Why didn't you have them at the dinner with the like, cause that threw me too. I was like, why are her parents not at the dinner? Where she's like, tell me about the partition. I think in episode 2, I was like, why are her parents not here?
Yeah.
Cause I'm telling you, as a Dissy person, this shit throws me where I'm like, they would be there.
Does the
I legit thought
let me ask,
they were dead. I'm
uh,
not gonna lie.
let me ask you a 100% dead serious question, and I don't mean this in like a snarky way or anything. Does the idea that they are trying to facilitate a Marvel Disney story give leeway for them not being at everything that you just mentioned? Like they're not, the focus is not to show what the culture is, it's to tell a story about Miss Marvel.
Well, I think it's the opposite. I feel like they've tried to not tell a story about Miss Marvel and they've tried to like check every box. And like Bassett from my chat points out something I noticed too, is that in the comics, like Amir puts on African garb too. Like her family, it's like they actually lean into like, oh, these two families
to the
are
other
mixing.
culture side of it. Yeah.
Yes. And it's like really fucking wholesome and cute and it's awesome. And in this, it's like, it just feels like they're just trying to, like, oh, we have to hit these notes in a certain order.
I also think that the wedding, for being the plot point of several characters for several episodes now, served as nothing more than a scene for shit to go down at. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it was an event for shit to go down. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't exist. It was the setup to a fight, which, by the way, I'm not sure how I feel about being introduced to it. Like, I don't know what that boy's storyline is. If he's like, I'm the hot one who shows up in one episode.
Yeah, he's kind of the
hang out with me.
He's a
meet my mom. Oh, my mom is evil, and now I'm unimportant. Like, I have, again, this goes back to everything I've said for every Marvel show for the like Hawkeye, and like just keep going back. Only Loki is the only one so far that I thought like, oh, that seemed well paced. Everything else, they were just like,
yeah,
let's go. we gotta hurry through this.
Well, like
and it's
at the beginning of the episode, they're like, "Oh, we're interplanar beings, and we're so excited to like meet you, and you can give us hope." And literally within 30 minutes, they're like, "Kill that bitch. We need that fucking bangle."
That plot,
Yeah.
like,
And
I
I'm
couldn't
like-
believe they were
That was a
like,
quick
we're not
turn.
gonna make people think they're good for much longer. Like, F it. They're bad immediately. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
There's a
And
very
then that
stark
entire
turn.
scene was so awkward where she's like, Gamran shows up and he's just like, "You and your entire family are in danger. You have to get out of here. I'll go talk to them." "No, you don't know my mom. She won't stop at anything to get what she wants." "Oh, okay, I'll create a distraction." And I was like, okay, number one, this boy can't act. Like, I'm sorry. Even when he's confronting his mom, he's like, "So you knew that it would be dangerous?" "Well, yes. And you still asked Kamala to do it? I can't believe you, Mom." And I was like, okay, I don't know where they got this boy,
I
but
don't
has the acting
understand.
range of a
I don't understand how this plot line, like, again, I actually very much enjoy this show, but the villain plot line makes no sense to me. Like,
the villains suck.
They're like, we need your help.
Yeah, they're a little.
And
yeah.
if you can open this portal for us or whatever and get us home, we'd be so grateful. And then, like, a day goes by and they're like, "Bitch, taking too long. We're tearing our family apart, killing everyone." Like, it's been a day, y'all. You've been waiting for like 1,000 years and you can't fucking just go. You can't wait a day? They're like,
look,
no.
Rita Repulsa was impulsive, okay? She wanted to get out there and destroy the Rangers. And she waited 10,000 years.
Their entire plotline is like, we need your help. I thought it was like, oh, this is a long con manipulation thing. No, they were like, it's been 36 hours and she hasn't delivered. Kill everyone.
Someone in my chat.
What are you talking about?
Noxid,
chill out.
Noxid calls them CW villains. I kind of like that.
It does have.
They are CW villains.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a guy, the white guy, that's a part of their diversity evil squad. Literally is like, like you can't. Am I wrong? He's literally like, I'm the bad guy. And I'm just like, is this the thing? Like, and they
wait, is that the guy that's kind of is that the bearded guy or the like semi-balding guy?
Yeah, the dude that's like,
oh, the bearded guy just seems like
unchained.
He's like unchained. Like he's completely crazy.
There's a dude that's comically evil.
Yeah.
He's he's just like,
It's so funny that like they have all of the villains and then like their white friend who's like with them. It's hilarious.
He
because, like,
seems a little out of place for sure.
All the villains are like, we need to get home. Kamala, we must have that band. And then this guy's like, I'm making sushi. Like, whenever he's like in the background,
okay, yes,
I'm the fourth one.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, dude, thanks for showing up.
Yeah.
I am here as well. It gets frustrating because like you have to set up villains to be interesting and there's just no setup here.
Do you guys think that they're the end villain of the show? Like they're the like big bad of
yes,
Miss Marvel?
100%.
Yeah.
There's 3 episodes left.
Yeah.
They don't have time to introduce another villain.
They have to be.
Again, they got to stop. I would much rather have a made-for-TV Disney Plus movie that's 2 hours than another show that's 6 episodes that's an hour each, but somehow feels super fast-paced.
Yeah.
Like, we have no time.
They're really like 25 minutes.
I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. We got to just like hang out with this girl finding her powers and like being a teen. And that shit I really enjoyed as like, oh, you know what? This is fun. It's totally different than what we've gotten before. I really like this. I like the like Scott Pilgrim versus the World vibe. It was barely present in episode 3.
Episode 3, they kind of
ditched that shit immediately. I was like, the fun of like a text message and then seeing it on the like neon lights and like that's cute and creative, and I love that part of the show. And this episode had none. This episode,
the only thing they had was like
that was
show again.
One of
they
the
only
things
had the wedding, and
that was saving it for me. Yeah, one of the things that was saving it for me was like that sort of illustrated style, and then the music. Because the music is like, that's like my music. So it's like all banger shit. And I loved it. But then like, there's even episode 2, like the part that got me was like, just like when her brother catches her out on a date, and I was like, "Oh, this is about to be mad relatable." Like, if you're a disty girl, you've probably been there at some point. Like, because you're not supposed to date, and you're on a date, and then you're somebody you see an auntie or an uncle, and you're trying to hide behind a garbage can or something. I was like, "Oh, this is about to be mad relatable." And instead, she's like, "This is my cousin." And I was like, "That's your brother. He would know who your fucking cousins are." Like how massive do they think our families are that we don't know our own fucking cousins? And he's like, "This is our cousin, Chaudhry ka beta." And he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm willing to totally go along with this because I guess that's what we're doing now." And he's like, "But isn't Chaudhry from Pakistan?" And he's like, "Oh, yes, of course. I am also Pakistani. Da, 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 da." And he goes for it. He's like, "I was doing English accent because I thought it was funny. Da, da, da." And I was like, man, y'all really think we're dumb as shit, huh? Like, you really think like, "Oh, yeah, that would never work in an American show, but in an Indian show, these people are like, it's the taxi driver from Deadpool. They're fucking stupid. They don't know how to dance. They don't know how to do anything. So, of course, this would work," you know? Like, I was just like, "What is this scene?" Like, what do you
I
think?
had to
You think
believe that it
every
was
single
like
person from Pakistan has an accent?
I thought it was I agree with you. It seemed weird. My assumption was that the brother just knew and was like fine
He was
and
just
like
playing
just walked
along.
away. But
Yeah.
like you're right, it wasn't played that way, but that was my assumption because I was like, there's no way her brother is like that dumb. I was like, there's no way. So I was like,
it was
I
a
think
weird
he's just
scene
being
for
chill,
sure.
but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
And I even thought that was gonna come up, like, at the wedding. I thought, like, he was gonna see Kamran there and be like, "Hey, Kamala, like, we need to talk because I let it go at the restaurant, but, like, we need to talk about" like, because so I always say that, like, and I try not to compare it too much to the comic, but the reason I bring the comic up is G. Willow Wilson fucking killed that shit. And she's not, like, a native Pakistani or anything like that, but she clearly did her fucking research, and she killed that shit, because that was one of the first comics that made me openly weep. Because there was just scenes in it that I was like, "This is too real," and one of them is her brother at one point sits down with Bruno and says, "Bruno, you're a good boy. We love you. You're like family to us, but you need to know you and Kamala will never be a thing." And it is the most heart-wrenching thing I've read in my entire fucking life. He's like, "She's a good Muslim Pakistani girl. You are not. It's never going to happen. We love you. You're like a brother to me, but it's never going to happen." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is like actual real life." And I remember like openly weeping and being like, "This is the saddest shit I've ever read in a comic." And it's so true to like what it's actually like. And poor Bruno, my heart broke for him. And in this, like, to see that kind of same situation played as a joke, like, granted, it wasn't with Bruno, but to be like that's like the scariest thing ever to be caught. And I was like, okay, he must know, and he's probably gonna have a conversation with her and be like, "You're lying. You're sneaking out at night. Like, what's going on?" Because my brother had conversations with me like that.
Yeah.
And instead to have him be like in his own world, ignorant, I was like, brothers are their sisters' keepers in my culture. We have an entire holiday called Raksha Bandhan, where you like tie this basically friendship bracelet around your brother's wrist and pray for their like long life and safety, because like that's like somebody who fights for your honor is like your brother. Girls without brothers are like it's like considered sad to not have a brother. So like to not have her brother, like who she literally says, once again, this is the part where they did it right, where she's like, "Can you talk to mom and dad about Avenger Con?" He's like, "I'll go talk to them." Once again, boys in Desi culture are allowed to do more than girls, but your brother is usually more modern than your parents are. So, like I would ask my brother Ricky, like, "Hey, do you think you could talk to dad and see if I could do this? Or, do you think you could?" So like to go from I thought for sure, I was like, after he catches them, he's gonna let it go because he doesn't want to humiliate her. He's definitely gonna be like, "Kamala, what's going on? Like,
Yeah,
I'm seeing you
down.
dating some dude. You're like, now he's showing up at the wedding. Like, this isn't you. Like, you're a good person. You're a good girl." Because that was such a big part of the narrative of episode 3 is like, my daughter's a good girl. I don't know who that girl is. Her mother would be ashamed of her, but Kamala's a good girl. Kamala would never pull the fire alarm. And then there's like no payoff to that. He's never like that brother-sister relationship is there for the first episode and then quickly dropped in 2 and 3. And I'm just like, that was one of my favorite parts. And so I just don't know why you're not including that, like this is one of, in my opinion, the best parts is that,
Do you think they drop like the entire family for the next episodes that they're leaving town? Or is that like a family event where everyone travels?
Well, they said bring your
mom. The end to me was also ham-fist. It was just like, she's just like, Kamala beta, you have to come to Karachi. Okay, bye. And I was like, because you had a train dream? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, they didn't make that.
It feels again very much like Moon Knight, where they're like, we have to get them to Egypt somehow, so fuck it, they're just going to Egypt.
Yeah.
And again, look, it's a Disney thing. It's if you watched Obi-Wan, I'm convinced that the last 2 episodes are the idea they had. And then they were like, well, we got to have 6 episodes. So the first 4 are getting to the last 2, which is like, that's a terrible way to do anything. And it's very, it drives me crazy. And I feel like that's kind of what's going on here is like, we got to get them overseas. So how do we do that? Well,
yeah, because I think that's
we'll get a phone call and that's it.
I think the culmination, the moment where like Miss Marvel becomes a fully realized superhero, she's going to get both bracers, and then she's going to have like the full power, and then she'll fight. That's why I was wondering if they're really if the 4, whatever the funny line Bronze had, which I can't remember, the CW villains, if the Jinn are the bad, if the big bads, or if there's going to be like an extra, because. The other thing, which we haven't talked about yet, is that was definitely a blue arm in the the past, which is probably a Kree arm, which is even a little bit more weirder if you think about the idea that the bracelet and the Shang-Chi, the 10 rings are related, because at the end of that movie, Captain Marvel said that she's never seen anything like this. And she was like heavily involved with the Kree fucking army in the film, right? So is like,
and we're positive it's Kree.
No,
it's not what I read at all. I didn't read that at all.
They haven't said it at all. But like, it's a blue fucking arm.
Like I clearly don't know much about, like the temple they were in. I assume it was a temple, like that. But when I saw blue arm. The like history nerd in me was like, oh, is that like a Shiva thing? Like that's what I was thinking, but that could be like way off. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was just a statue that had the bracer on it, is what I thought. Because it like crumbled away, but maybe it was an actual like.
All we know is that it's a blue arm
thing. I don't know.
And the only relationship to that so far in Marvel is that I think blue aliens are Kree. Like that's the only thing that they've shown. Granted. There's, I'm sure, a billion different species of aliens.
I assumed it was like something Kree or Alien too, because they immediately said they're interplanar entities. Yeah. Which is why I was like, oh, they didn't go for like the big swing, because I was like, oh, is it going to be like
an Inhuman
a
thing,
Hindu
right?
deity?
Oh,
yeah. I was like, I wonder if that's going to be a thing. And then they start talking about how they're Jinn, and I was like, oh shit. And then they're like, well, that's just what they call us, but we're actually aliens. And so the locals started calling us Ajnabi, which I didn't understand that at all, because Ajnabi just means stranger.
Yeah.
So
that was one of the things that I had a lot of friends that were just like, yeah, fuck that. Like that's kind of a fuck
did you think that was like personally?
Yeah.
Even I felt a little cringe when they were like also known as genies, and I was like, get the fuck out of here.
That's where
I was like, that's a little cringy line. That was super cringe.
Yeah.
Like jinn or strangers or travelers were also known as genies, and I was like,
my friends were like, fuck
you didn't
this
need to do that.
That
was unnecessary.
Yeah, that was that. So it was that specific line or that specific thing in episode 3. And then in episode 2, and you're going to have to help me here, Bronze, when they're celebrating Eid, they refer to it as Lesser Eid. I think it was the woman who's going for the like elected position or whatever. She refers to it as Lesser Eid. And for my friends, they were just like, yeah, fuck that. No, like Eids are not lesser than one another. They are like of the same significance and they just were like, "Yeah, we're done. We're done with this show."
She's comparing two Eid
Two Eids
celebrations
and
to
saying
each
one
other.
is lesser and one is greater. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like that. You're just like, oh, that's not. So I'll give you one of mine from episode 2. Like I clocked the Eid thing, and then I clocked the oh gosh, she has a scene right before she talks about her hijab, which is it's fine that she's talking about her hijab. That's not the issue.
Sure.
Right before that, she says something that's like for a lot of Disney people, like a huge red flag. She says, "My entire life, I've always been too white for the brown kids and
this is in the
too
bathroom.
brown for the white kids." Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my god, I know girls like that. Like, or I know people like that, and they're usually fucking assholes. You've never been too white for the brown kids. That's not a thing. That's literally not a thing. Like,
Sure.
and usually it's them that ostracize themselves and get mad. Like, well, I listened to like My Chemical Romance, and you guys listen to like Lamber Hussein Puri, you know? I'm sorry, I just haven't seen Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam. I'm a bigger fan of like Casablanca. So like whenever anyone says like my entire life I've been too white for the brown kids, I'm just like, first of all, Nakia, your actress is Lebanese. So why are we acting like you can't pass? I don't know what to tell you. Ethnically, aren't y'all Caucasian? Maybe I'm wrong. But I was like, I know plenty of Lebanese people that are white passing. So I was like, you can't be shocked that people don't think that you're a brown person. That's number one. Most of the Disney people in here, you know. But number 2, I hope they at some point they're not trying to write her to be likable. She makes her problems with white people, brown people problems, if that makes sense. So, like, because she's been ostracized by white people in her school, is apparently like that. And then even when she talks about this, like, she's talking about female empowerment, getting elected to the women's council or the mosque council, like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, except look at this Muslim girl who's a superhero. And now look, she's blowing up our spot. And I'm like, or you're being profiled by white people?
Right. That I took it as that. Yeah. Like that was the more important factor.
She literally goes on this rant to Kamala about how, and now we got this nightlight to deal with because she's ruining shit for us. I was like, is she ruining shit for you, or is the government entity that's up your ass ruining shit for you?
Yeah.
And she's like, you know, they've given them an excuse to come into the mosque and they ruined the voting meeting. And I was like, but how is this Nightlight's fault? Like, the fact that that's where you're going to is like, I hope you have the fucking character growth where you're not a bitch anymore, because that's like such a shitty place to go with it. Like, if you want to be mad at the government entity that came into your temple with shoes, be mad about that. I was mad as soon as I saw the scene. I was like, they're going to come in with shoes. Like, I'm not Muslim, but I'm Sikh. And if somebody came into my temple with shoes, I would have an issue with that.
Sure.
Like, that would be a conversation right there. Like, you'd be stopped at the door. So, like, as soon as I saw that, I immediately felt myself tense up, where I was like, no, you don't walk in with shoes. Like, that's like, you need to cover your head and take off your fucking shoes.
That's the bad government people being bad.
Yeah, well, yeah, people? And I know, but like that disrespect, I was like, yeah, this is a big deal. They're acting like assholes. This is not how you act.
Oh,
if you need to come in, sure, but this is not how you act. So I could understand her being pissed at them. I would be pissed at them too. I'd be like, yeah, those fucking bastards came into the temple with their goddamn shoes on. They were disruptive as hell. They were completely disrespectful. They thought that they had a right to just like go through like be mad at them. But for her to be like, well, we have to police our own, and Nightlight has made things difficult for us. Like, we need another target on our back. So I was like, Nightlight didn't put that target on your back. This government entity did. Why would you, as somebody, like, the writing is so inconsistent to me because she's otherwise so progressive. And I'm like, why would you blame this other girl right out of the gate?
It seemed to me like her anger there came from the fact that it was bringing unwanted attention on, like, the idea of, like, someone with powers being darker skinned and being like a Muslim girl. And, you know, it was like, oh, that could be, you know, we're going to get people like those people that showed up. And that, I think, like, it was more stress. I don't know. Again, I don't have a fucking clue. But I also, truthfully, am just, like, very attracted to that girl. So like, I have nothing to say. She can get away with anything with me.
The girl running for
immensely attracted to her.
The like
so
president
I don't
or
care.
whatever.
She can say whatever. What now?
You're talking about the girl that Nakia.
Yeah,
That's
Nakia.
Her friend?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, she's pretty.
Beautiful.
Okay.
No, she's super
Beautiful.
pretty. She's super pretty.
Yeah.
I
She
thought
can say whatever she wants. I'm like, you're right.
I was
You're
very
absolutely right.
surprised to speak to, and I forget the agent's name, but whatever the female agent's
Bad
name
Guy?
is. Yeah, Agent Bad Guy.
Yeah.
They
Agent
have like,
Robot Bad Guy?
They have made her like fucking awful. Like she is just a real
two
piece
scenes,
of
and
shit.
each scene is like just a piece of shit.
Just like the first scene, she's just like straight up fucking racist, just like overblown racist. And then the second scene, she just like continues to be a piece of shit when she walks in, doesn't care about her shoes or anything, and just like kind of treats everyone like an asshole. That I was very surprised with how much they like turned up the "I'm a piece of shit" on that role. And I also don't know where that role's going to go.
I don't even know how they showed up at the wedding. I was like, how did they know to come here? Why did they show up here?
Oh, that's
and
true.
Then they immediately arrest all the brown people, which I thought was fucking hilarious. That part I thought was accurate. I was like, oh yeah.
Did they call?
I was like, yeah, they're gonna arrest all
someone
these
probably
people.
called
They don't know
911,
that they're
but-
superhuman.
Yeah.
They literally
fire
don't know
alarm
that
got
they're
pulled, so-
superhuman.
They
Like
might
they just grab. They're like, grab those brown people. None of them match the description of Nightlight.
Yeah.
Literally, none of them match the description of
Sort it
Nightlight.
out later.
I have no
Get
clue.
as many as you can.
They're just like, all right, guys, let's grab all these brown people. We don't know if they're superheroes. Grab them.
Well,
and I was like,
they had to have known because they brought the like CW anti-superhero gun, right?
they're shooting them at what? They don't know those people are aliens. They just start shooting them, and I was like, this is actually accurate.
You know
I wasn't
what?
mad
You know
at
what
that
it could
scene,
be?
I was like, this is probably accurate.
You know
They
what it
probably
actually
showed
could
up and
be?
they were, oh shit, it's brown people.
Those agents might actually be Skrulls. Maybe that's how
that
they
would
know.
explain why she has no social skills.
Yeah, and why she's just like a complete.
Oh my god, JP, I absolutely hate you, but this is gonna be one of those moments where when they like go back to meet grandma, they're gonna be chased by the baddies, and then in the end, like the person that cleans it up is gonna be that agent, and it's like, we thought you were a piece of shit. It's like, no, I'm not a piece of shit. I'm not even human.
Yeah,
that's gonna suck. That's gonna suck so much ass if that happens.
I bet you that's what happens.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah, and that makes sense because that would explain why why her writing is so like
rigid,
unbelievable in some ways. Yeah. Also, like, okay, that scene they're showing where the temple is falling apart
in the beginning.
What year is that set in?
They're old. They said they were over 100 years
Partition,
old, right?
Literally, the beginning of it.
Oh,
says
it was the beginning of Partition. Okay.
They talk about the British soldiers like firing cannons or something.
Yeah.
That's stupid because the partition happened when the British left India.
People are saying 1942. It was the day of the start of partition.
1942. Okay, so I was just thinking about it because I'm trying to figure out like she already had a family at that point.
Who did?
Right? Like Kamala's great grandmother.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. I would think so.
She already had a family at that juncture, and they were separated, and she was trying to get back to them.
Yeah.
I think that's why she left and didn't help them return because she found a family here and wanted to stay, but she wanted to protect them, which is why she pieced out. I think that's what we're getting at in the story.
So do you think that they all agreed that like, okay, we're going to find this bangle, we're going to get back home. And then Aisha was like,
stole it or
I'm going to take this bangle, steal it, and get back to my family and help them get to Pakistan?
I don't. That's a great question. I guess
there was like a discrepancy there where I was like, they would know, like she would have had she had a family by then because as the story is told by Kamala's dad, she already had a kid by then. She already had a family and they were on the train or they were about to get on the train to go to Karachi and then they were separated.
Right.
So I was like, okay. And they keep showing that train. So I'm like, did she leave the other aliens for a while, go and have a family, and then they found her again, and they were like, well, it's time for us to go back home, but she wanted to stay maybe?
Maybe,
So
yeah.
she was like, okay, like, I'll help you guys find a relic powerful enough to take us back. But then she like kind of bamboozles them and takes the relic and goes and becomes a superhero in Pakistan.
Well, if you remember, they were banned, or I guess like they were banished from whatever realm they're from. So I think the backstory on we will find out is that like they're probably not. They're probably like the General Zods of that universe,
of their dimension,
and
yeah.
they were banished to this realm, and that's why the grandmother took the bangle, because she's like, I'm trying to, we don't deserve to go back, and you guys are baddies, so I'm taking the bangle, and I'm gonna live the life that I have here, and like F y'all. I think that's what it's gonna end up being. But I will say, we didn't talk about this in that temple. On the floor with the 10
there's
rings.
Yeah, 10 rings are there.
So, I mean, like, it is all connected. That whole thing is connected to whatever the hell is going on in Shang-Chi, which is,
yeah,
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I like connections like that.
Same.
Well, it also just, like, makes sense.
Of course.
I'm happy that they did that. Like, I think it's kind of cool, but, like, the Punjabi word for tea is the same as the Chinese word for tea because of, like, Silk Road trading and stuff, and that's where we got tea from. So we call it jaw. In southern India and the rest of India, they call it chai because the word was, like, distorted and perverted over time, but, like, in Punjab, where we're close to, like, the source, we call it jaw, which is exactly the Chinese word for tea as well, which I thought, that's how closely our cultures were interwoven for so long.
Yeah.
If you look at, like, even, Indian fashion in, like, states like, Punjab compared to South Indian fashion, we even use a Chinese collar. In Pakistan and India, we use, like, the exact same collar they use in China on our Indian clothes because we borrowed that from them. So there's, like, all this trade back and forth and cultural exchange. So it's not inconceivable that the 10 rings wouldn't have been operating in Pakistan, at the time it would have been in India, and, like, because there was so much cultural exchange there, right?
Yeah,
Like,
there's probably
Gautama Buddha was born in India and then spread Buddhism, like, up through the rest of Asia. So, like, yeah.
There's probably like a treasury, right? And that's why all that stuff existed in there. I don't know why you had a severed arm though of what looked to be, unless it was a fucking blue statue.
I don't think it was severed. I think it was covered in debris, right?
I thought it was
Am I
just
crazy?
like a statue arm that it looked, man, I gotta go back and look at it. I thought it was just like a
I have to
statue
go back
arm.
and look. I thought it was buried under rubble.
It definitely was. That's true.
I think they say
don't know.
severed arm is what it was.
Yeah, well, it has flesh, Jesse. Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
can.
definitely
It looks
flesh.
I
like
guess
it has.
you're right. I didn't see that.
It looks like it has wrinkles, and I don't think a statue would have wrinkles.
So let me. Here's is all of this leading to them revealing that she has inhuman ancestry in her, like, DNA, and that's what these bangles are, like, pulling out, and that's why only she can use them.
I don't think it's going to be inhuman. I think it's just going to be alien, whatever these aliens are.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to go the inhuman route. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they want to. I don't think they're going to specifically name Inhumans. I think there's going to be that. Well, that was all but confirmed in episode 3, right? Like she's part alien because her great grandmother was, and then so is Cameron. Except he has latent abilities. His Noor.
Oh yeah, that's right. They talked about Noor. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that whole thing where they got into.
Yeah, that was some midi-chlorian shit. I'm sorry. Like, that shit made me laugh. I don't know how other Disney people felt when they're like, you have to unlock your Noor. I was like,
yeah, I forgot that whole thing happened. But yeah, the Noor.
You know what I thought
straight
the
up
plot
CW
was gonna
shit
be?
right there.
I thought the plot was gonna be like a classic, like, gaslighting tale, which would have been actually really cool because this is like a phenomenon that's common with people that come from, like, more sheltered cultures. A lot of the time is like people will try to create a sense of, and they kept talking about family in this episode too. I was like, oh, what's gonna happen is they're gonna be like, well, your family, they reject all the things that you like about yourself, but like we support them. And they were gonna try to get her to give up the
Yeah.
bangles so that Cameron could unlock his abilities, and then they were gonna
Right.
find out that they're villains. I thought that was gonna be the apex of this episode, was her falling in love with Cameron, realizing Cameron's been grooming her this entire time to get that bangle. And I was like, this would be a very interesting story that's very poignant to things that happen right now. Because
Sure.
we've had this like huge issue, especially in the UK, of like specifically South Asian, Indian, Pakistani women being put in sex trafficking rings because they're less likely to report it if something happens to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there has been cases, you can like look it up online, of women, like basically they'll get something incriminating, like a photograph or something like that, and be like, "Oh, I'll threaten to show this to your family unless you basically become a prostitute for
Right.
me."
Right.
And it's like a huge issue because like the concept of shame and dishonor is so strong that a lot of horrible people have figured out that this is an easy demographic to groom and take advantage of. And we watched a couple of documentaries about it on my stream. It's really heartbreaking. And they keep talking about dishonor in this show. Like, "Oh, well, your mom's a good person, and her grandma dishonored the whole family. Dishonor, dishonor, dishonor." They keep talking about this word dishonor even at the wedding. Like, "Oh, well, your mom's not here, but whatever, she would have created drama and all this stuff anyway." And so I was like, I wonder if that's going to be a thing, if they're either going to coerce Kamala into doing what they want, or if they're gonna do that thing that I thought they were gonna do, where they're gonna gaslight her and be like, "Oh, your family doesn't support you being a
Yeah.
superhero? We support you.
I thought
Oh,
that's
your
where they were
family
going too.
doesn't."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of the
Like, "We're
quick
gonna give
turnaround of
you
like,
all the
that
things."
bitch not going to give it to us. We're going to kill her family.
It
The
doesn't
instant
make any
turnaround.
sense because Kamala was eating out of their fucking hand.
She was. Yeah.
To the
Yeah, it
point
was
that she
very,
even says,
very
like, "But they're so nice. Like, I'll talk to them." And I was like, "Yeah,
Right.
no, that's exactly how they should have played it." She should have been like, "Well, Kamala, don't you want Cameron to have abilities like you? And, like, don't you wanna meet other people like you? And, like, your parents don't support you. You can't even tell them what's going on. Like, but we'll help you. We'll help you with the government too." And that's, like, literally how a lot of people get recruited into like cults and horrible organizations, is they offer them a support system. It doesn't make any
Mhm.
sense to chase her around and try to kill her. It makes a lot more sense to be like, I thought maybe she was going to get in a fight with her parents at the wedding, and those people were sitting outside like, "Oh,
Yeah.
your parents are disappointed in you
Dominic
again."
Toretto's behind
Imagine
him.
if they knew the truth. Yeah. They would never forgive you if they found out you were Nightlight. Like, "Oh, wow, you're the reason those people came into the mosque. Like, look at all these things you've ruined." Especially because the entire narrative of the show is going towards that. Her conversation with, like, the old boy from the masjid, where she's basically saying like, "Well, how am I a good person?" And he drops the line her dad tells her, which is like, "Well, good is not something you are, Kamala. Good is something you do." I thought for sure it was gonna be this, like, and then they even have, okay, this is where I screamed. Then they even have this dialogue with her mom
Uh-huh.
in the bathroom, where her mom is, like, doing the very desi mom thing of being like, "Oh, beta," like, with her knee, and she's, like, helping it, and it's like, "Mom, did you ever get something you wanted, but then it was more trouble?" And, they have to hit the difficult immigrant story checkbox, which actually in that case made sense to me. She's like, "Yeah, it was really hard when I came here. I didn't really speak the language. Your brother was still in diapers. It was really tough." Classic immigrant story. And it's like, "Oh, but what helped?" And she's like, Ruby Auntie, like finding family here, going to the mosque." And they talk about found family. And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be where Kamala's like, maybe I've found my family because I'm in this difficult situation.
Yeah.
And just like my mom was in this tough situation and found this support network, I'm in this tough situation and I found this support network." And instead they're like, "No, they're gonna attack her." And I was like, "This is fucking stupid.
It was the
This
quick
is the
route to
stupidest
like
shit."
make the enemies is what it was. Yeah.
Because they had all the story beats.
Yeah.
For her to be, like, recruited and then to find out, like, on episode 6, she finds out, like, they're actually the supervillains. You don't need to establish and defeat a villain in 6 episodes. You can just have a great story. They could have had the wedding be the main part of that story and maybe ended the whole season like with her parents finding out she's a superhero and her finding out Cameron's a supervillain. I think that would have been infinitely more interesting than them trying to establish and defeat these villains in 6 episodes. Because, fam, it's not working. For me, it's not working.
It's the Marvel problem where, and we've talked about this so much, like going back to our discussion on Black Widow. If the whole movie was the first half of that movie where it's literally just like two sisters getting to know each other, it would have been a fantastic film.
Yeah.
But they always at some point have to do like, and then the villains show up, and then it's a crazy climactic special effects battle, the end. And it's like sometimes, especially in this show, I would rather it be a Scott Pilgrim-y, like young high school romp of kids dealing with kid shit, and then like, oh, but there could be something worse coming down the pipeline next season. I think that's super fun. And yeah, they're trying to cram everything in, and it's like we're now traveling overseas.
I think we're gonna
like, are you kidding me?
I think we have to get something like that though, because this is gonna lead straight into the Marvels. So why does Miss Marvel join Captain Marvel? Like, what is the tissue there connecting the shows? So there's probably some Kree bullshit at the very end of this.
Are they not gonna? Do you think they're gonna do anything? And I'm gonna say no, just because I know, but I have to ask. Are we gonna see any of Nirvana or any of that, like those deities that show up in Marvel every so often, or is it like because I'm thinking like
maybe
Thor. If there's a guy going around killing deities,
they made Jinn aliens and basically said Jinn don't exist. So who the fuck knows?
Or as they're commonly referred to as genies.
Yeah. That line was really fucked up.
That was a face crack of the century. Because Jinn, from my understanding, I'm not Muslim, but Jinn are like just as real as like, it would be like if they did a Marvel subplot where you found out that like Jesus was like Prometheus, Jesus was an alien. Like not necessarily Jesus, but like angels and Jinn are like real. Like to a lot of people I know, they're real. And like we talk about them in a folklore sense. Like even in Punjab, we talk about them in a folklore sense. Like a lot of people consider them to be real. So being like, oh no, they're aliens, I was like, yo, that's crazy. So at this point, they might be like, Shiva's an alien.
Yeah.
Krishna is an alien.
The other thing that
I don't know. What's left?
They could go that route because we already have like a pantheon of a lot of different gods, and maybe it's a tie-in to Thor because maybe Gore kills a god from this pantheon. I don't know. I really don't know how they're all going to bake that in, or if they're going to whatsoever. But there's also the other big name drop, which is kind of out of left field, especially if they don't talk about it at all, of the idea of clan destin, which is like that's a huge thing in the Marvel world. It's clandestine is a word, but clandestine is a whole thing within the Marvel world. I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know why they would just name drop that casually. It seems really out of left field for them. I really do
hope they do the story arc where Miss Marvel gets incredibly disenfranchised with Captain Marvel, because I think that would be very interesting.
Oh, I think she's just got a super fanboy. I think she shows up at the end of episode 6 and she's like, hey, we got to go take care of this. Come to space with me. And then that's it.
Marvel story arc is the kids being like, we fucking hate you people. And like the cover was like Miss Marvel burning her Avengers membership. And I'm like, we have it. Like we could totally have Tom Holland, Spider-Man, Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, and like even the new Black Widow be like, no. Because it makes so much sense. So basically like what kicks it off is like each of them realizing that like the Avengers really aren't shit because they don't care about people on a micro level, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So like the Avengers come into like Jersey City, they knock a subway off the tracks or whatever, and then like Captain Marvel's like getting ready to leave, and Kamala's like, wait, no, you have to like fix this. And they're like, well, no, we have bigger things to deal with. And she's like, people take this train to get to work and to get to school. Like nothing is more important than this. This is the most important thing. And like basically all the Avengers are like, the young Avengers, like all you people do is fight each other. Like you literally come to blows over everything, which is true post Civil War. You argue over everything. You can't work together and you don't care about people. And they're right in some ways, but wrong in other ways, and they branch off. And it's like Amadeus chose Hulk, young Vision, young Scott Summers, Miles Morales, and Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, and Kamala Khan are all like, fuck it, we're gonna make our own Avengers, and we're actually gonna help people because you guys fuck up cities and then you leave and it's super fucked. And I was like, I love this like young Gen Z optimism. I loved it. I loved it because I was like, on some level, the Avengers are right. They have to, like, Doctor Strange has to worry about Wanda and Thanos and cosmic balance. He doesn't have time to worry about the fact that he broke that public bus in
Right.
Multiverse of Madness.
It could be a young
So, like, in
Avengers
some
plot.
ways,
Yeah,
they're right. But I love the idea of, like, you know, like that street level justice where they're like, but no, but like people take this bus to work. Like we need to like fix this, you know? So I hope like they keep that sort of optimism where, you know, like, cause I think that's just such a, like, you know, that whole like never meet your heroes. I think it would be so cool to do that in a Marvel movie, like just one time.
I mean, they could go that route.
Where she has this like idea of like, oh, Captain Marvel's gonna be amazing, and then she meets her and she's like, but what about these? You're not gonna help them? She's like, I have to go to outer space, kid. More important things to deal with.
It's definitely the type of thing for me that at any moment, if Captain Marvel shows up in this show, it immediately dwarfs whatever Kamala Khan is dealing with. Right?
Yes.
Captain Marvel could just be like, oh, you're dead. Right? Like,
yes.
Let's move on. So it's going to be like the very last thing. And she's going to be like, quick, come on. And if that's the story they tell in the movie, it makes a lot of sense. But I think initially Captain Marvel's going to be like, hey, you want to go be a part of something greater? And she's going to be like, oh, fantastic. Let's go, Captain Marvel. I idolize you. And then she'll jump on and go do whatever.
I'm starting to think that the reason Captain Marvel gets involved with everything that's happening on Earth again is because of things like the 10 rings and these gauntlets, and that there's a mystery, like whatever the Marvels is going to be, it's the mystery of like, what is this stuff and why is it here and where does it come from and that kind of thing, because it seemed to be the hint of like, well, I'll look into that shit was at the end of Shang-Chi, so I wonder.
It's probably all Kree related. It has to
again be. I have no effing clue how any of the stuff we're watching is going to lead. They were like, the next couple of movies are going to be all about setting up the next big bad. I'm like, are they?
Yeah. What was that thing you linked us, by the way? Because that's what Kevin Feige said, like, that we were going to know the next big bad in the next couple of months, right? That was the quote?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically they're getting set up to like reveal the next big bad. And I'm like, okay.
The one thing that did happen at the Thor premiere, from all the reactions, they said one of the extra credits is like fucking bonkers, bananas, crazy in terms of its actual, whatever happens in it is just insane. And so maybe that's what that is alluding to.
Still holding out hope that we start getting crazy symbiote shit. Holding out hope.
Maybe.
That weird hand thing that's in the trailer whenever Christian Bale walks into that creepy vine room, tentacle room, that weird hand, I'm holding out hope.
I mean,
I predicted. I want to go on the record again and say that I predicted in that MCU crew that's the null.
Yeah.
Here for it.
Could be.
If it's not, it's going to be another case of me writing something really cool and it not being real. But I hope that's it.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
Like, we're getting into cosmic Marvel shit, so we might as well lean all the way. Like, we've already destroyed, you know, Pakistani like and Muslim folklore, so we might as well like have a good cosmic storyline.
Boom. Let me ask you this, Bronze, and also Jesse. Do you think we get a color filter in the next episode of Miss Marvel? Or do they leave the filter off?
Better not. They better not.
If they put a filter, it's
From
like it's the worst thing, right? Like that's the most egregious thing they've done.
I've been trying to keep track of the directors. From what I know, like who is directing the next episode? It's like actually a Pakistani guy.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So I yeah. Whereas like I think the director for this last episode wasn't, which is why they keep mashing Indian and Pakistani culture together, which I mean, it all used to be the same country. So some of it is going to be the same, but some of it is like a little you know, like it's a little tone deaf in that like there's some things that you're just like, oh, like I've never heard a Pakistani Punjabi say chak de fatte. So like things like that, I'm like, oh, that I feel like. But that being said, I don't think we're gonna get a color filter.
Okay.
We get a color filter.
I think if they do, then that show goes like it gets canceled by a large swath.
I mean,
of the
if
internet.
Moon Knight cannot do it,
right?
This show should, in theory, be fine.
Yeah.
Should be fine. But
Yeah.
the world
you never
ain't like
know,
that,
man.
so we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. Yeah, I think we're on.
They better not. No, they're not going to do it. There's no way. There's no way.
We're on the path of her getting her second bracer that'll unlock her full powers. And that's where the show's going.
If you put a filter on any Middle Eastern, South Asian country, you get your brown card revoked. Like you're done. I don't care what race you are. Like I'm taking it.
Done.
I'm gonna come to your house. I'm gonna revoke it.
You're just gonna cut it.
Like, you know what? You're not brown anymore. Because why? You put a filter over Karachi.
Right.
You put the orange filter over Karachi. So you're done. Give me the card. You're out.
We'll find out.
Out of the club.
That'll
might as well get used to biscuits and crumpets.
That'll fall on Monday.
Wrong.
Everyone knows South America is a little bit yellow, and if you're anywhere in India, it's a little bit orange, and it's like it checks out. It's just a fact. Just a fact. It's the way it is.
Did you ever see?
If you're in Australia, it's like a little reddish.
Where do we think the other bangle is?
Where
do we think the other bangle is?
I think Grandma probably has it. That's how she saw the train, right?
Yeah. 100%, right?
Yeah. Although I don't know, like, now I'm a little I don't understand why she would be wearing the bangle to see the train, and two, why the train would just pop up there. Like they're probably going to answer that stuff, but I don't know why.
The villain also saw the train. She saw Kamala through the vision, and she didn't have a bangle.
But she saw it because the bangle was
she was in
there,
the room,
right?
Though, right?
No. Before that, remember, like Kamala sees her, and then she gets in the car, and she recognizes her.
Oh, you are right.
Like, but I think it's the alien blood that allows you to see something.
Maybe.
Because in order for the grandma to have it, Aisha would have had to have the bangle. And from the scene we saw in the temple,
is that the
where would Aisha have gotten that other bangle from?
Is that the Nor?
I think that's the Nor. Yeah, I think I think they're all connected.
I fucking hate that I just had to say that.
In which case, Kamala's mom probably maybe I don't know, her power, her Nor isn't activated,
or at least
which means that Nani at one point probably wore the bangle and was Miss Marvel, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
because her power is activated.
She was saying because the mom is like your grandma trouble. I think I think you're right. Is that she was like OG Miss Marvel?
I think the mom knows a lot more than what she's letting on. I think that's going to be part of the next episode, and in episode 5 is like her mom finally revealing and coming to terms with it, and like saying it's okay and that they're going to be fine with that in some degree, in some fashion. Where do you think the name Miss Marvel comes from? Where does that get? Because that's not a thing yet. She's not called Miss Marvel.
Do you think it's gonna? Oh my god! Do you think it's gonna be something like one of those? Like just old people. You think the grandma's gonna be like, "What are you? Some sort of
Marvel,
Miss Marvel over there?" And she's gonna be like, "Oh, that's a good name." And
it's probably gonna be her mom. Like, you have to decide, beta. Do you want to be Kamala or do you want to be this Miss Marvel or whatever? It might be something like that. Yeah,
that's exactly what it's gonna be. She's gonna be like, it's gonna be those things. She's like, Miss Marvel, and it'll be like her. Like at the end, sitting on the lamppost, end credits.
Yeah, I mean, in the comics, does Captain Marvel give her the name? Where does she get the name Miss Marvel from?
In the comics, she can change her body, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
in addition to like being able to make constructs. So like she's tripping out on Terrigen, and Miss Marvel is her favorite character, because this is when Carol Danvers was Miss Marvel
Oh,
and had,
okay.
I think she had just gotten the promotion to captain, because at one point Captain Marvel was a man. And then we
Right.
had Carol Danvers as Miss Marvel, and then Carol Danvers basically got the promotion to Captain Marvel, kind of leaving the Miss Marvel
Moniker or
like
whatever.
spot empty.
Yeah.
So when Kamala's powers first activate on being exposed to Terrigen, she's like freaking out and her body's like warping out, and she like almost like jokingly is like, maybe I'm magical or I'm powerful like Miss Marvel, and she conjures the old costume
It's
on
like the
her,
black
like
suit Miss Marvel.
the black suit, thigh highs, and then she's like, oh my god, my parents are gonna fucking kill me, because she's like, that's like so inappropriate for her to be wearing. And so like she immediately calls herself like Miss Marvel out of the gate, because that's like really the only superhero that like she like that's just who she models herself off of. And so it just naturally happens. She becomes like the Miss Marvel of uh Jersey City.
Got it. Okay. I have no idea how the fuck they're going to stumble upon that name then. With everything you just said.
The costume is really cute too, because like it's like her mom's like, "Oh, wear this burkini."
Right.
When you go swimming, and she's like, "I'm never going to fucking wear this, mom." And then
Well, she got the
it's the only
mask
thing
from
that's stretchy. Yeah,
right.
she got the mask from Bruno.
Yeah.
But like it's the only thing that's stretchy enough for her like crazy body transformation. So they end up treating it, because Bruno's like a genius. They end up treating it like with this stuff that makes it even stretchier. And it's like, it's super cute. Like why she wears the costume becomes like super apparent.
Yeah.
I think in this one they're foreshadowing it, like with her wedding outfit.
Sure. Yeah. Where's Little
But
Red?
it did drive me crazy that she didn't have her tunni for most of it, until Nakia's like, you dropped this. I was gonna say, girl, you need to have that. Your outfit is incomplete without
what is that? Sorry.
without her. It's like the scarf.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And Nakia literally says like, you dropped this. I was like, thank you, Nakia. I was like I was like, girl, where's your fucking chutney? The entire time I was like,
sure.
You got your outfit's incomplete. You gotta have your chutney. Most people won't be seen in public without that, just for reference, for people that don't know. Like that's like, it's an important part of your outfit. Your outfit is incomplete without a matching dupatta or chutney to go with it. And so I'm happy that like Nakia at the end like shoves it in her hand. She's like,
called it out.
This. I was like,
yeah.
Because I was like, if they remove that from the costume, I'm gonna scream. That's the best part of her costume. And it gives her like a viable reason to have a cape. But like her long red dupatta that she wears, like when she's in the Miss Marvel costume, is like my favorite part. I was like, if they get rid of that, that's like where you lose me, where I'm like, you can't get rid of that, because it looks so visually stunning. It's like a cape. She's the only like character that has a viable reason to have like a red cape. I'm like, you assholes better not cut that out of the costume design. I swear to God. You're going to get 30 angry emails from me. You better keep the fucking chutney in the final costume.
We'll see.
You hearing me?
We'll see.
Keep it in the costume.
Here, random tangent here. At any point, does she see the 4 CW villains with white eyes? Like where they're like when she first put on the bangle and she saw those people standing there, she didn't see the 4 bad guys in the same manner at any point, right?
I don't think she did. I think she just saw the mom.
Because I'm trying to think like who those people are. If she like went to their dimension when she put that on, or if those were other Miss Marvels, or like who the fuck those things were. Because they haven't talked about that at all. But didn't someone else put the bracer on and she said something along the lines of like, did you see that? Didn't that happen? Am I misremembering that or making that up?
Yeah, no. Her mom, Aisha, puts the bangle on and is
that's
like,
right. It was in the
whoa.
yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. So I wonder if that's like it's showing the other world that they're from for a split second.
Maybe. I mean, it's at this point anything's really a possibility.
Or
with that
it's showing the
one quick
world the
scene.
bangle is from.
Yeah,
Because it's heavily
True.
implied that bangle is not from where they are from.
Oh,
right?
Or it's
Like they say
it
that.
is. Okay.
Or it's
No,
like one of
because
those things
remember
where it's
she
like
says
anyone
like
who wears it is connected. You know what I mean?
That's what
Like-
I'm saying. I'm saying like it is. I didn't realize that, Bronze. But that makes sense if that's the case.
yeah, because she says like we don't know if this artifact alone is powerful enough. You know, it's supposed to be a set of 2, and
Gotcha.
to me it was implied that like it's not from the planet they're from. It's just it's an artifact that's powerful enough to get them back home. Was my interpretation.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay. No, I think
that's
you
what I
Because
are
they
thought
right.
don't
as well.
seem to know a lot. They
Yeah.
don't seem to know a lot about it. They're like, like hopefully this will work because I assume it's to amplify because they're newer. I hate saying that word. Their mana or whatever you want to call it is already
really
activated.
I feel
Like,
bad
it's already,
slimy
like-
for saying every time.
We could
'Cause
call it
it's
chi
like
if
saying
you want.
midichlorians. Yeah,
or
so
chakra,
theirs is like
or-
already activated, right? So I
Right.
think it like amplifies the power of whoever's wearing it. In Kamala Khan's case, because she doesn't know her powers are there, and because her powers are twice removed, because that's her great grandma that had it.
Yeah.
Like it basically amplifies or activates it, and now she's like aware of it, so she could probably use her powers without the bangle, is what I'm assuming. But if she gets the second bangle, she'll probably be even more powerful. That's like my prediction of it. But I am curious, like my theory is if you put it on, you're either seeing everyone else that already wore it because you're clued in. That vision might not come from the bangle specifically. It might come from like amplifying your ability to see the whole network. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. But then her mom, I feel like her mom's reaction would be like, "Whoa, did you see that?" I feel like her mom would be like, "Oh my god, I saw like home or something," right? Like,
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. A lot of questions, I think. We still got 3 episodes, so they've got
But that's
these
the thing is,
bunga
there's a
are
lot of questions,
confusing.
and it's 3 episodes. Like that,
Hey,
again,
look,
that's the
we
big
already-
Marvel
we
problem.
already
We're
had a
halfway through
villain
the season.
and
Yeah, we have
half.
It's yeah.
They'll do it fast.
Oh man.
It might not be good, Jesse, but they'll do some
Meanwhile-
explaining fast.
Meanwhile, Netflix is over here like, so yeah, we got 2 episodes left of Stranger Things. One's an hour 20, and the other's 2.5
I thought they had
hours.
4
Enjoy.
episodes in part 2.
I'm like,
Listen,
holy shit.
Stranger
Is it a
Things'
4
newest
episode?
season has been the best since season 1.
It is the best.
Absolutely.
It
I
is
agree.
Absolutely.
so
Isn't
good.
there 4
It is
episodes
so
left?
fucking good.
No,
I think the problem with
last-
Disney Plus shows is that they know how much budget they have. They know how much like episodes they have.
Oh,
And
2.
it's like if I knew, okay, I'm doing a D&D game for Dimension 20 and I've got 6 episodes and this is my budget. You write for that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, sorry to sound like an asshole, but like, and they've kind of fumbled this with most of the shows where it's like, but you know that going in. And everyone's like, well, Bronze, Miss Marvel isn't a super popular character. So, of course, they were going to spend a lot of money. I'm like, yeah, but the people who sat down and wrote the script knew they had 6 episodes. It's not like they wrote all of it and then someone came in and said you only have 6. Like, I feel like they should have kept the scope small because contrary to what people might think, I don't hate the show. I don't. Is it inaccurate in a lot of places? Sure. Is it? But there's parts of it I like. It's just those parts are really few and far between. Like, I like seeing her going to school, talking to the counselor, being an artist, trying to balance her making YouTube videos, which any Desi person knows, like, that's your parents' worst nightmare. Your parents want you to be a doctor or engineer. And they'd be like, why are you doing this YouTube all day? Aur kuch bhi kar liya kar. You're on the YouTube sara din. You know, like, I want to see that. I want to see more of her family. I want to see more of her relationship with her brother. I want to see more of her relationship with her community. I want to see her friendships. I want to see her at school. And they could have had this cool plot where, like, she does have a crush on Kamran. And, you know, at the end of the 6th episode, she finds out he's a bad guy. What a great fucking plot hook. Why did they write all this?
I
It's
mean,
just
I
is
can
really
tell you the
confusing
same
to
reason
me.
they do it for every show is that I think it is what it is. It's a Disney show. And at the end of the day, Disney plus Marvel equals a lot of executives, a lot of producers, a lot of
Sure.
behind the scenes stuff. And they're like, we have a thing we do and it works every time, which is we need to have a big spectacle. It's Marvel. We need to do this, that, and we got to get there. And it's totally unnecessary. I wish someone would tell them not to do it. Like, take a minute and give us something that's like a story driven character something rather than just like, I mean, it's what it is. It's I understand, even though I love Marvel, I understand when I have friends or I see people on the internet say they're all becoming the same thing and I'm losing interest.
Totally.
I get it.
Yeah.
Because I see it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
The parts of the show that are awesome, like even okay, so for the longest time I was like, man, I don't know why they keep Ruby Auntie around because she seems a little bit like a bitch. I love Anjali. A very good friend of mine plays that character, by the way. But this episode, I finally saw it. It's that like she can talk shit about her family, but nobody else can. When that lady's like, I saw Kamala pull the fire alarm, and she's like, oh my God, no, you didn't. The DMV didn't renew her license, you know.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. I'm starting to see that like Ruby Auntie's like, listen, I might talk shit about how Kamala is short and chubby, but nobody else is gonna talk shit about how Kamala is short and chubby because that's like my Bonji. You know what I mean? So like, I thought that was cute, and I was like, I wish we had just a little bit more of this. I almost wish the finale was the wedding. Like Indian weddings are an event, right? Pakistani weddings are an event. I was like, why wasn't the finale the wedding? This should have been like the apex of the show. Anybody who knows how Desi people get down knows our weddings are like 8 days long. They cost $1 million. Everybody dresses up. It's like a whole kit and caboodle and shebang, you know?
I mean, there could be an encore wedding because this one was ruined.
This one was ruined.
I would love. Look, I'm gonna say the best part of this show, hands down, is the family.
Oh,
a 6-episode arc of this family's interactions. I love watching the mom, the dad, the brother. I love Kamala's interactions with them.
I
love her friends. I love like what's going on at the school. I love the counselor. I love the weird like drawings that show up. All that shit is so much better than the like Powers plot line and the villains plot line and the like all the stuff that is Miss Marvel. I'm kind of like, I don't particularly care about that, to be honest. Everything else, I'm like, I do want to see what goes on with that thing. And I do like, I'm more real talk. I'm gonna let you know, I'm more interested in the shoe thief plot line than I am in the villains.
It's the kid.
We saw who the shoe thief is.
Yeah, it's the kid. The kid that fell.
It's a kid that fell off the building.
Yep.
Is that true?
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, he's wearing Nakia's shoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that at all.
I remember because they were really
That is a
cute
plot line
shoes.
I would have
Nakia's
preferred.
got like great taste. Yeah. No, he's wearing the shoes. That's why he fell, in my opinion. You steal shoes from the mosque, you're gonna probably fall off a building. That's real karam. You know, people throw around the word karma. I was like, no, it doesn't. You gotta like the way he fell. I was like, it's because you stole those shoes, you little shit.
Yeah, it's true.
You don't steal shoes, you won't fall off the mosque building. Yeah,
See,
even like I said, even the little brother wearing the Hulk
yes.
kurta
during the
he's
dance.
like dancing.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen a scene of like the two families meeting each other. Like I think that would have been like something really cool. We haven't seen something like that on camera. Cause like when I was very young, Bend It Like Beckham was huge.
Mm-hmm.
And to me that meant a lot because that was the first accurate portrayal of a Punjabi Sikh family I had ever seen on camera. And it's the most accurate I've seen since then.
Yeah.
Like it was just, I was like, yeah, no, this is actually a 1-to-1, like what a being Punjabi experience is like. So like if you want to see a movie that shows Indians living abroad, that is like what we feel like, I think most Desi people would agree. Oh yeah, that movie is it. But there's a moment where she has to choose between going to a wedding and going to a soccer game that's really important to her. Yeah, and she's like in her lenga and like trying to change and like also like she's trying to do right by her family and also follow her dreams. And I think that's what's like so like that's so like accurate to I think like how I feel about like Dissy culture is like trying to like be like, oh, I want to do what I want to do. And like even a lot of Dissy YouTubers like Just Rain talk about this, like wanting to do what you want to do, but also wanting to do right by your family, knowing that like they gave up everything to come here, that they've worked so hard to give you the life that they can, you know? Like my mom worked in a cannery, my dad was a carpenter, like they worked so hard to give me the opportunities that they gave me. It was my dad's dream to go to college, right? So of course he wants me to be a doctor. And having that heartbreaking discussion of like, oh, well, I kind of want to write, you know, and like the thing with Indian parents is they just want their kids to be happy. And they have an idea of what that happiness looks like, right? And that's financial security and stuff like that. And I don't know, it comes from like a good place. So I think like those are the parts of this show that I like. Like Kamala's mom wants her to be happy, she wants her to be safe, and that's what she cares about the most. And she feels powerless when she can't do that. And it's hard. It's like, you know, that's the part that's heartbreaking about it. Is even in this episode when she says like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, who are those people? Like, what was happening?" I thought the episode was going to end with her being like, "Mom, I have to tell you something."
Yeah, she's still.
And the fact that she's still the fact that she's still holding on to that, I'm like, I need to have that interaction because like
it's gonna happen. I mean, it has to.
It's going to happen, but I hope they don't wait 5 episodes to do it. Like,
no, it'll happen in episode 5 or 6. It might happen next episode, to be honest, because they're right. She's not gonna like have.
How else is she gonna get her to go to Pakistan?
Exactly. Yeah, like it'll happen eventually. Maybe the writers don't want it to happen. It's definitely gonna be a big emotional moment.
Happen is, I think like her mom is gonna be like, let's go to Pakistan to like put this back. But I also hope we get an extended scene of Kamala's mom reconciling with her mother.
Sure.
I think that's important. I think that's really, really important. And that's probably been the part that I've had to like step away from is like, that's been mildly triggering for me is like people are talking about like, oh, well, she brought shame to her family and da 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 da. And I've been accused of that in the past. So that actually, like, I'm not using the word trigger lightly. Like some of that is like mildly triggering.
Sure.
And I have to be like, okay, this is a lot. I don't like this at all. Because I've had people talk about me like that at public events. And I was like, this is gross. I hope this has some kind of payoff. But even listening to Kamala's mom say that, like, oh, well, you know, she brought shame to the family and like packing up the box. I was like, I hope this. I'm gonna need y'all to like have this end really positively because like this is.
I'm sure it will. It's a Disney show after all.
Yeah,
I have a great relationship with my mom now. But like we didn't talk for many years, so like it is. I think that's probably another reason why I'm like, I don't like this show.
Hey, it'll happen. It'll happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if we needed that. Yeah, but
well, we'll see. We got episode 4 here in about 48 hours or so, give or take. Speaking outside of the world of Marvel, real quick, are you guys watching The Boys? Did you watch Herogasm?
I did.
No, I'm gonna watch it on stream.
I did. Bronze. I did the same thing last night.
Is it nasty on stream?
Yes.
Like, is it too much?
I still believe that.
I mean, what?
Jesse fucking Cox. Are you fucking kidding me?
I didn't co-stream the first episode because they show a man's whole dick hole. I was like, I can't
fucking tune in for episode 6, Bronze, because they show a whole lot more.
Look, here's the thing. Time out. What they promised, we got a fraction of that. I think
they definitely hyped it up.
That
I will agree with
was
that.
Oversold on the internet. I was expecting like an hour of insanity, and we got like, I don't know,
we got like 20 minutes of it.
20 minutes.
Yeah, but it's still pretty.
The best
insane.
part of the episode was not Herogasm. No spoilers.
I agree with that too. I thought it was the best episode of The Boys they've ever done.
Absolutely.
It's hands down the best episodes.
I love this season.
It's a great season. Yeah. This episode's best episode of the show. It's great.
Can we talk about when they go to Vought World?
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
The ham-fisted, like, the BLM BLT, the Pride oh my God.
Wait till the opening of the newest episode. Like
the singing, the like
the LGBT
the, like,
turkey
goof on the COVID like singing that. Holy shit. Yeah. Amazing. The show is so irreverent in its takedowns. I love them.
It's great.
They have elbow dropped the MCU like 7 times.
Oh,
like
wait.
It's hilarious. Even last season.
Totally.
I can't wait for this one. Last season they did it too, where it's like, oh yeah, Maeve, we actually feel like it would be really good if you were gay. We're gonna need to change who you're with, though. We can't have 2 femme people together, so we're gonna need you to butch it up a little bit. I was like, oh, you mean like Marvel, where they go down a list and check boxes, and then you have 2 camps. One camp that I've felt that way.
Bronze,
I have 100% felt that way about the way they write stuff. I'm like, oh, y'all were just trying to like.
Here's how crazy. I do think Herogasm was crazy, but I do think they oversold it. There is a comment in this show about how Cosby makes really strong drinks. And I'm not going to say or give you the context, but that's where they go with this show.
No, I like it. I like that they're not pulling any punches.
Sure,
they've successfully pissed off half the internet. I think the most shocking thing about The Boys has been realizing that there's a subset of people that think that Homelander is a good guy.
Oh, yeah.
Are we watching the same fucking show? Are we watching the same fucking show?
Yeah.
Are we watching the same fucking show? I'm.
Yeah. No, the subreddit last week was a ton of fun to read because people were like,
the show has been review bombed on Amazon. I went through and looked. It's been review bombed by a bunch of people that are like,
fucking review bombed.
Oh, it's wokeism. It's wokeism. I was like, guys, Homelander was never a good guy. From season 1 to now, Homelander has never been the hero of the story. I don't know why you think he is.
Yeah.
Like, he's always been unsettling, creepy, fucking crazy.
There were people that watched last episode and was like, oh yeah, Blue Hawk's an all right guy. He was perfectly fine. Yeah. Those were legitimate comments on this stuff. Like, people are fucking crazy and have a twisted sense of reality.
Hold on. Oh my God, this is so funny. This is exactly what Bronze was talking about. And I keep thinking about this and I can't stop thinking about this. JP, I'm going to send you this image. Every time that there's any sort of like talk of like, yeah, we're trying to roast everyone, this is what I think of, and it makes me laugh so hard. I guess I sent it over the old Tweetster, huh?
Yeah, that works.
This image right here makes me laugh every fucking time. Send. This is someone has the high-res version of the TV, the Maeve TV dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious. It is exactly what you imagine marketing for like this world. It's such a good roast. It's so funny. The brave Maeve.
Pretty good.
Brave Maeve's vegetarian pride lasagna.
Sorry, it's taken a while. Whenever you download an image from Twitter, it adds a fucking stupid .png at the end of it. It's fucking.
I can't stop thinking about it. It makes me laugh every time I see it. It is like, I've never seen a more perfect like version of corporatization of like anything in my life. Cracks me up. I keep thinking about that. Like, well, how do we spin this whole "you're into women" thing? Brave Maeve, she's like out. She's out. Like, it's so funny to me.
It's really fucked up.
Oh God.
Here you go. Sorry you had to feel. Good job.
No, I love The Boys. I think it's cathartic to me. I have to say it's cathartic to me. Because sometimes you start to feel crazy. Because people get, I call it the circle. I was talking about this on my streams the other day. I think I may have offended some people, but I don't really care. And I was saying there's like a circle where people get so woke, they go back into racism. It's like a real thing where they're so woke, they start to veer back into racism. The example I gave is like when Trump won the election, one of my employees when I worked at the game store, like came in and was like crying. And he was like, just so you know, like, I want you to know I have your back. I will fight for you and I won't let anything happen to you. And I will make sure you stay in this country. And I was like, I'm an American citizen. Like, I was like, do you think I'm fucking Mexican? Like, I was just so confused. I was like, first of all, I'm an American citizen. Second of all, I'm not Mexican. Like, I don't know what you think is going to happen to me. Like, ICE isn't going to come kick down my door in Seattle, Washington and drag me all the way to California. Like, where are they going to deport me to? India? Thanks. That's a $2,000 ticket. I'll take a free trip to India. So I was like so confused, but like they kind of like veer back into being racist again, or like actual conversation I had with the producer on a show, real conversation. Well, your voice is important and your stories are important. And I was like, right, but I'm just going to like write a normal D&D game, right? Right, but your voice and your story is important than a white man's voice or story. And so that's why we're going to give you this opportunity. And I was like, but it's just D&D, right? Right.
But don't you understand?
Okay. But so are you hiring me because I'm brown? Off. Is that what you're telling me? I was like, that's are you letting me know to my face that I'm a diversity hire? Okay, cool. No, thank you.
The silly part was like, you gave him outs there where you're just like, yeah, it's just a D&D story. He's like, yeah, but you're unique because you're not white. That's what I'm trying to say.
He basically was like, you are a diversity hire. We really need a brown person.
Oh,
and I want you to pat me on the head and tell me I did a good job by hiring you. And I was like,
don't you see that we're doing you a favor by letting you tell this story?
Man.
Your voice is important to us.
I've said no to ops like that where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pass.
It's a really weird, I guess in that person's defense, but not really because you gave him outs and he just continued to go down it. It's a really weird conversation when you actually have to think about that when it comes to like casting. Because you straight up do have to be like, yeah, we got too many white people. Right? Like that's an actual thing you have to think about.
You just have that conversation. You know what I mean? Like
sure,
I've been a part of casting shows, and that's a conversation you have. Is totally. Like, oh, well, we could cast so and so. Well, that would make the table majority male. Let's try to get some gender diversity on the table, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but you don't do this whole like, hi, we're choosing you because Roe v. Wade was just overturned, and you have, as a uterus haver, your perspective is important to the MCU crew team.
Jesus.
Your perspective is important because right now on the MCU crew, we need more people with your point of view as a vagina haver to come.
Well,
that's what our conversation was like. Ron's like, I just put it out there and you're like, oh, you make sense. Yeah, that's great. Sign me up.
JP, when he approached me, he was like, for too long, pasty white bearded nerds have not had a say in this industry.
We need a redhead.
I need you to be the voice.
We need a redhead
for all of us. And I was like, by God, I will. It's about time someone let white fat guys with beards have a voice on the internet.
Look, someone's got to give them a voice, Jesse.
I'm going to be that man.
Yeah.
I will be the one to step up.
Someone's got to have that voice.
Yeah, that's what he said to me. And I was like, you're so brave. You're so brave, JP.
Anyways.
Give me this.
Yeah, boys, it's very good. I haven't watched any Obi-Wan, so I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to spoil that. Although I heard the final episode.
I think my opinions are probably the same as Jesse's on Obi-Wan.
I heard the final episode was worth watching, so that's what I'm.
The final episodes, the last two episodes are very, very good.
Yeah,
but
that's what I've been told.
The rest of it, I was like, this is like throwaway fluff. Like 90% of this was unnecessary.
Oh yeah, my Reggie brings up did you guys see the Miles Morales Thor stuff? Did you see all that? Now that stuff was fucked up.
Okay, remember how I said you can be so woke you veer back into racism? Remember how I just said that? Go read
Asgard
that
is my
comic. If you're like
Asgard is my hood.
Bitch, there's no winning.
That's a straight.
This man says by Odin's fade, and Odin in that comic does not have a fade.
By Odin's fade.
And he starts out the comic by rapping. Bitch, He starts out the comic by rapping.
Oh God, I didn't know about the Odin's Fade thing. I saw the
He
my hood is
by
Asgard comment.
By Odin's Fade.
Ooh.
He says these words.
I saw that
But this is what happened.
Ramp it up.
This is what happened when you check boxes, right?
Right.
Because I don't think they actually got somebody like the huge thing here is people are like, this is why white people shouldn't write comics. The writer is not white.
Oh yeah.
He's he's I believe is he Mexican? He's not
sure.
white. He's Jewish. I think he's Latinx and Jewish. But this is what happens when you cast people or like choose people to do something based off of nothing other than because the writer for Miles Morales is white. I would just like to point that out.
Sure.
And G. Willow Wilson is not Pakistani. G. Willow Wilson is Muslim, yes, but G. Willow Wilson is white. So why is it that these white people have written great comics for brown people? It's about consultation. It's about like very thoroughly doing your research. It's about having cultural context, you know? It's about coming from a place of authenticity about what type of story you want to tell. So like, I think if anything, this Miles Morales Thor comic, which is horribly racist, proves that you can be, you know, a marginalized identity and still do a complete fucking botch job of writing a minority character.
Hey,
right?
Asgard is
because
my hood.
Clearly this man did no fucking research and didn't talk to anybody when he wrote that drivel.
I just need you. All right. I'm just going to read this one page.
Okay.
Done in verse.
Is this from the comic?
Done in verse. Yes. Done in verse as an intro to the character. Midgard, long ago, old Yggdrasil spread. Then the world tree grew in Brooklyn instead. Immerse as we traverse the universe. From the vast multiverse comes this dope verse. The stars shine upon the realm of the gods, forge mighty battles with his squad. Where's lightning after wars are won? What victories lie for the son of sons? He's got style, and he's got flair to boot. With his kicks, you know he's in hot pursuit. Old enough to know that he don't know all. He wants to have a ball before the fall. All his dreams rain from the clouds above. He brings the thunder. Best believe it, bruv. Get the fuck out of here. That is...
Wait, is
That's
he
a hate
English?
crime. You reading that out loud is a hate crime.
Is he English? Is Miles Morales English in this? Why do you say bruv?
Apparently Brooklyn, they say bruv in Brooklyn. So
really?
Apparently
Listen,
that's Brooklyn.
You reading that out loud was racist to every person in this chat. Because that's horrible. I had to read it, but hearing it out loud is horrible.
Calm down, bruv.
Those are
Calm
the
down.
worst. Ah!
Calm down, bruv. You what, mate?
So
I'm
bad.
from Brooklyn, eh?
How is this so bad? At one point, he says hammer time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw the hammer time. That was the other one I saw on Twitter. Yeah. Miles Morales' Thor says hammer time.
I can't believe they were like, well, we're going to rhyme with it. Above. What rhymes with above? Bruv.
Bruv.
People in Brooklyn love using the phrase bruv.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
It is. I can't believe that got like approval from human beings. They were like, you know what? Good enough.
They're like, yeah, that'll do. Let's print that. Let's go ahead and print that. It is wild to think that
Honestly,
actually did go
wonderful
through
black
checks and balances.
of the audience. You're now free to cancel Jesse Cox just for reading that out loud.
Whoa.
I'm so sorry.
Whoa.
That he put you through that.
Got a hot cancel.
If you want, I'll make it up to you. I'm so sorry.
Makes it the way you savor each fucking word. It's so bad. It's
Bronze.
I did.
Someone from the chat makes a great point. We're gonna have to call you that bruv girl from now on.
I'm that bruv girl.
Why did you say? Why did you read it so slowly? Why did you read it so slowly and just savor every word? You really like just. You were really chewing on the bruv there.
My name is Jesse, and I'm here to say I'm gonna rap in a major way.
That's still better than whatever the fuck they wrote, dude. That's still better.
Let's call this show. Let's get out of here before.
Also, the fact that
Jesse
character looks nothing like he looks nothing like Miles. Am I crazy?
No, not at all.
Am I the only one who thought that?
Although
literally looks nothing like the character.
I'm coming to the defense of the writers. I know and do this, but isn't that the power of like Thor or the hammer that makes him like super?
No, but they changed his hair too. Like they changed
Okay,
like the whole.
I thought this was like a Mighty Thor situation where like Natalie Portman got
he's
super buff. Yeah.
I mean, except he still has his Jordans on.
Wow. Okay. Sure.
But they also
not Jordans, they're Jordans, but instead of the Nike, it is a hammer flying. So technically, they're Thordans. You're welcome. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Jesus.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody.
Actually, we'll have Jesse.
Goodbye.
Bronze has to recover. Jesse, do some shout outs.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody.
He's got nothing.
Goodbye, everybody.
He's got nothing.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bronze, shout outs, anything?
Hi, hello. Check out Coffin Run on Dimension 20. I stream on Twitch and I'm on Twitter. This is my last MCU crew.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Jesse's.
I don't need shout outs.
I'm hereby announcing my retirement.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm out. The cancellation has begun.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thornton.
See you guys next week. Episode 4, Miss Marvel. That's also Thor week after that. Maybe. Unless Jesse gets it canceled. We're out of here. Bye-bye.